Good morning, everybody. Hey, Lefty, how you doing, mate? Got a nice chilly morning here in Adelaide. It's currently 5:33 a.m. Just been talking to my baby. Uh, Thought we'd do a live. Hope everyone's having a great day. I did send an invite out to Lost. That's the for you who don't know, that's the creepy guy. Actually, he's a great guy. Kind of really missed him when he was in Colombia, and I was happy for him. That I'm really glad that he was on holidays enjoying himself with his family. Hopefully one day Crystal and I will get to meet him and his family, and hopefully would love to go to South America with him and visit Machu Picchu with him. That would be a highlight for sure. Now, David, how are you doing? Hope everything's good for you, mate. Just talking about one day hopefully meeting up with Lost and going to South America with Crystal, and I think that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to being with Crystal is jumping around and visiting different countries and just enjoying life. Yeah, I agree, Lefty. Lost is a great guy. No. I think Andy was waiting for a phone call yesterday, so he's talking about that he might pop over today, and if he does, I'll just go out with him and I'll just buy a little barbecue that's good for just a couple of people, and so like when my son comes around or when Andy comes around, we can do a barbecue. I think he's still pretty raw about things, which is understandable. I probably would have jumped on him a little bit more, but I'd rather do that when I'm standing in front of him where I know he won't go off. But he's got so much on his fucking plate at the moment. I think it's hard for any of us to understand what it's like to deal with the problems that he's got at the moment, and which is why I was really glad that he was opening up a bit more and doing things that he would never do here on YouTube, and I was really happy. Uh, did someone super chatter Lefty? That was cool. Good on him. I think things are still a bit raw for me as well. Otherwise, I'd go over there and super chat her as well. But I think I need to wait before I jump on stream there. But I made some great friends through that group of people, and hopefully things eventually will get back to what they were. But I don't really want to get into all that. Like I said, the stream, Let It Be, it's a great song. It's a great way to be. I admit that I'm very rough around the edges, and a lot of you guys are not the sort of people that I used to hang out with, and I've jumped out of that other life and trying to start again. And so, I am going to be rough around the edges. People are going to take me the wrong way. Um, I know that I do talk with a lot of bravado, but that's just how I was in my life. Yeah, David, and I understand it's easy for people to take me the wrong way in the way I talk, but you know, But if you spoke to Andy, he'd tell you that's just how I am. But I am fucking. I've moved away from that life, and I have to admit that meeting Crystal and talking and getting involved with her is probably one of the highlights of my life. Ah, well, good on you, David. But guys, what you see is what you get. I do have attitude at times. I'm trying to get past all that shit. But like I said, no one's perfect. Yeah, David, it has turned my life around, and and there's two people I have to thank for that, David, and you know who those two people are. Lefty, geez, I know. Um, I mean, in my 20s, I think it was hard for people not to know who I was in Adelaide. I mean, I was barred from every hotel in Adelaide at one stage. That's a long, long time ago, and that's all the past. And that was my problem, I guess, was you know, it was just my. You know what, David? I was older when I lost my parents, but I lost my mother, my father, and my brother all within 6 months of each other. A year later, I found out my ex had MS. A year after that, uh, she left, or kicked me out. So I had a fucking pretty rough time. Uh, for someone who was so arrogant and confident, it it fucking knocked me around, I tell you. But there's that saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Uh, I'm definitely on that road now. People used to tell me, "Oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel." I used to think that light was a fucking steam engine coming straight for me. Um, but now, Crystal is that light at the end of the tunnel for me. So I'm not sure when they say everything happens for a reason, whether that's true or not. But I'm starting to believe that maybe everything does happen for a reason. That's my problem, Lefty. I was not one to. I didn't go out looking for it, but if you got in my face, I would knock you out of my way, and that was my problem. And hung out with people who fucking were exactly the same, and probably even worse attitudes than mine. Uh, yeah, that's so true, David. I'm not the most spiritual person, but I do believe that I'm blessed. Just sometimes it takes, I don't know, it takes a lot of knocks having to you know, go right down to the bottom before you can start climbing back up again. But a good woman will, geez, she makes that climb so much easier. Like I said, we do have we know when we're going to catch up with each other now. We're keeping that to ourselves, but it's not too far away. I'm going to have a great family that I'm going to be joining. Her mother is a lovely person. Um, yeah, my father was pretty rough, mate. Uh, I love my father, but we had our moments, that's for sure, Lefty. Yeah, and possibly because of the way my dad brought us up to be pretty tough and take it, and then, as you know, my association with a certain group, I just fucking, you know, definitely have that attitude, and I'm trying to get past all that and trying to mix with, just normal everyday people like you guys, and then sometimes, you know, the old me is going to come out and people are going to take it the wrong way and spanked. Oh, Jesus, Lefty. Even when I was a child, my father would just hammer us. Um, but he brought us up to be tough, and it's something that I didn't do with my own son. I was totally different. I didn't want my son like that. I think he's got my temper, but he doesn't have the. Thankfully, he's not the same as me. Thankfully. Hey, Johnny Karate, how you doing? It's good morning here, 5:45 a.m. in the morning. Cold, cold morning here in Adelaide. Said I hope all you guys are having a great day and everything's good for you all. Yeah, I was like that for a long time, David. Um, I admit that having Crystal has changed all that. And one thing is, I wish she was around more because she does keep me in line. She'll soon tell me, hey, cut it out, or so. She's a great leveler for me. And they say behind every great man is a great woman. So I've got a great woman. Hopefully, I can live up to her hopes and dreams. But let's not get too soppy here, guys. What's today's topics? Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I always used to have my father to turn to and have a talk to at times, and I mean, he was a crazy dude, pretty quiet. Um, Definitely could be violent, but at the same time, uh, he had his morals and principles. Hated swearing. I mean, even when I was in my 40s, my father would nab me for swearing and pick me up on it. It's kind of funny. Dad never swore. Uh, my mother, she swore like a US Marine, mate. It was unbelievable. Mum and Dad really were chalk and cheese. Uh, but losing them within 6 months of each other, along with my brother, one of my older brothers, fucking, I don't think you realise how much it takes out of you at the time, and then you don't realise how much you miss them until you really need them. Ah, David, yeah, my dad would, nab me for it all the time. It's one of the things I used to laugh about. Uh, Look, David, it was a rough time. But like I said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's funny, when my father passed away, my sister said to me, she said, yeah, Mum won't be far off, because they'd been together so long that my sister could see that Mum wasn't going to be around much longer without him. And yeah, within 6 months, Mum was gone as well. Hey, Popeye, how you doing, mate? Like I said, you don't really understand how much your mother and father mean to you until they're gone, which is a shame. So if you guys have still got parents around, fucking treasure every moment you have with them. Oh, no, it's right, David. There's times when you think, I mean, I definitely went off the rails for a while, but I'm back on track. And I'll tell you, one of the things, I never was much to jump on places like YouTube unless I was just listening to music or something like that. But meeting a lot of you guys, it's amazing what it does for you, because you get an insight to other people's lives, and you're hearing different opinions and learning that sometimes the problems you have are not just problems you have on your own. Other people too, have had the same issues and gone through the same shit. Popeye has me laughing. I mean, I love Popeye's stories. Um, yeah. And Popeye is one of these guys, is two sides of the coins. I got to be careful, Popeye, because, and I don't want to ask for your email because that's a personal thing. But I don't want to put the link out there, because we've been having guys come in here and close up the. Oh, look, I'll tell you what I'll do, Popeye. For you, I will put it in there really quickly. I'm taking a bit of a risk here, but I'll put it in for you real quick. Yeah, I'm going to leave it in for 5 seconds. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So I hope you got that, Popeye. Popeye is one of these guys. There is two sides to Popeye. There's the side, I guess, that a lot of people don't like, and I kind of avoid that when he's on certain channels. But the Popeye, the person, the real person, uh, yeah, he's a great guy. Roberto, I don't believe that at all. Troublemaker.
Oh, why don't you love me, baby? I'm a loser now.
Oh, yeah, that song. I'm a loser, baby. Why don't you kill me? Holy shit! You know what? I'd like to get a copy of that and send that to Barry. And that's, sorry, Barry, that's being nasty, but
It's being a wee bit nasty. Nasty. You
uh,
I was watching what was going on with your show when they're jumping the link and fucking shutting your shit down. All right.
yep,
And I'm going to tell you right now, I just had a talk with Nico. Me and him were talking
yep.
on Facebook. And he came in yesterday and he listened to what transpired between me and Gogo Bobo,
Uh-huh.
and he told me, "No, those guys are fucking idiots. They'll never be on my show again." Him, Rain Man, Twisted Bitches. He said, "No, they keep trying to change the narrative, bring other shit into my show, fucking talk about people." He said, "Not gonna have it."
I actually removed Gogo from my panel yesterday, so I kept warning him about muting people and doing shit to people, and he ended up muting Andy. So, and Andy's there. Look, it's me or him. And I've known Andy for 30 years, so it was bye-bye Gogo.
Yeah, I mean, uh, just what you just said there. You know Annie for 30 years. That's a true friendship, eh? Dude, no way would I ever step between that. No fucking way. You'll lose every time. You know, because who the fuck is Gogo Bobo to you?
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, I find Gogo is intelligent. He's entertaining at times, but he goes too far. He's acts like a spoilt brat at times and thinks he can run the show. And he can do that when he's running his own stream, but he can't expect to go on other people's streams and do the same shit. Yeah, well, actually,
Uh-huh.
it'd be over 30 years, RC Dre. I have to admit, I met Andy when I was working. I think I was 21. Hey, Lost, I did send you an invite. Um, I'll send it again if I have to, Lost. I think I was 20, 21 when I met Andy. Uh, Spent a year working in the same place with him, and then I transferred out. And then I didn't see Andy for maybe 8 or 9 years. 36 years. There you go, Andy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send Lost the link again.
I just sent it to him also.
Ah, okay. Well, if you could, Lost, could you pass the link on to Andy? Popeye sent you the link, Lost. If you could send it on to Andy, that would be much appreciated.
You know, and these guys, I'm going to tell you straight up, you do what you want to do with your show, but guys like Rain Man, Twisted Bitches, Go Go Bobo, they're not allowed on Pretty Pony. They're not allowed on Quinton Blue. They're not allowed on Nico. They're not allowed on Popeye One or Popeye Live. They are fucking banned. Because I'm sorry to say it, every time these people show up, there's a problem with the live stream. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying they did it, but it's very suspicious.
Yeah, look, I hear you. I don't want to accuse anyone unless I know for
Yep,
sure.
I'm not accusing anybody. All I'm saying
Yeah,
is they
I'm
show,
just,
it
and,
happens.
and the thing is, you know, Popeye, as long as the guys are respectful here, I don't have an issue with anyone. I mean, you don't know how much shit I cop about being friends with you.
Well,
Now,
I do know. I
I,
do.
I just keep telling people that one, I don't, like I stay away from the shows that I don't want to hear. And I mean, I've listened to Pretty Pony and Riff Raff Radio. Some of them I've enjoyed, some of them I don't, so I don't watch them, which is what, it's how everyone should be. But when you're here, I mean, like I said, you have fucking great stories. You're intelligent. I love talking to you, and you've always been respectful on my channel, and that's how I judge you.
Yeah, because I'm not bringing my narrative to your channel. It's your narrative. It's what you want to go. If you allow me to tell sea stories, cool. If you allow me to fucking bash Lost with religion, cool. You know? All right. It's all cool, man. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't mind anyone. Uh, I mean, when we call it bashing, but disagreeing with someone or whatever. If you
Yeah.
can do it in an intelligent and respectful manner, there's no big deal. It's when I get these idiots who come in and start calling people pedos and that sort of shit. I mean, I just don't want it. You
Dude,
know.
they flooded the chat yesterday. They started talking shit about me, started saying I said this, I did that. And when I called them on it, they got all pissed. Then Gogo showed up. He got fucking pissed. And lo and behold, fucking your goddamn stream went down.
Yeah, yeah. Look, and
That's
I
how that's how I look at the whole situation. I'm not blaming. I'm not saying Gogo did it. Not saying Rain Man did it.
well, Gogo didn't do it because Lost and him were on at the same time, and they seen the people entering my
Yeah.
hangout, so they seen that. And to his credit, Gogo usually can get rid of them pretty quickly. He usually does do that. But I thought, and this is again my own, just what I was thinking, is that maybe when I said that about Barry being an overstayer, and I knew 100% that he was, that's
Yeah.
when I thought maybe started some issues. Yeah.
hmm So
Lost, have you sent Andy the link, please? We could jump Andy on here too. I know him and Popeye like
I
talking.
will. Give me a minute.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
yeah.
You know, one of the things I like about Lost has got to be one of the most even-tempered, intelligent guys on YouTube. And I love having conversations with him. We got a lot of things in common, especially with the ancient civilizations and things like
Yeah.
that. And
Lost is the type of guy you could swing from his short hairs and he's still not going to get pissed, you know?
it's not something I imagine doing, but or want to do.
I kind of like to, bring a little color to it, you know?
Well, you do that.
And, I think it's fun on your show. And these guys won't allow me to do that on my show. It's what I want to do was just tell sea stories. Uh, the crowd that, I'll be honest, the crowd that comes into my show, they want to hear the drama. They want to hear who's fucking up. They want to hear hardcore politics, right wing hardcore politics. So, you know, when I get 50, 60 people listening, I give them what they want, you know?
Exactly.
And when I come here, you tell me this is what you want. All right, I'll give it to you, dude, you know? And see what they don't understand. I'm a Gemini. I have two personalities. Okay.
A- Actually, that's maybe why you and Andy. I think Andy's a Gemini too.
hmm I can be naughty or I can be nice.
I I did say at the beginning there that there's two sides of the coin with you, Popeye.
hmm It's all up to you guys. If you want me to be cool with you, I'll be cool. You start shitting on me, dude. I'm gonna back a dump truck up, boom, and you're gonna get a whole dump truck load on you. You
And there's
know.
Andy, not another one. Yeah, Andy, another Gemini. Oh, and you too. Oh, geez, we got three of yous.
Yeah, and
Whereas,
yeah, it's the way it is. You know what I mean? As because fuck, what's it gonna get me to come here and cause trouble on your show?
well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And that's like when I watch. I mean, I watch your Popeye shorts, and and they are funny, and I have to admit I do enjoy them. Like I enjoyed Dick and Siders as well. Um, but when you have your live streams, if there's, I will listen, and if it's not what I want to hear, then I just turn off Popeye.
There
If
you
it
go.
yeah, and it's that simple. I wish everyone else was a bit more like that. Hey, Don C, how you doing?
There's a blogger out there I haven't listened to in 60 days. Okay? And I'm not going to listen to him ever again. I'm never going to do a Popeye short on him again. He no longer has my attention.
You know what? I wish more people would be like that. You know,
Here, let me cut in real quick. For some reason, I can't send the link. Won't let me copy to Andy on my phone here for some reason. I'm not sure why.
okay. I'll see if I can. I'll just jump in here, guys. Into Hangout. Sorry, just give me a
Yeah,
minute. I'll see if I can
go
send
right.
him.
We'll give you a minute. How you doing, Lost?
Man, I am. Excuse me. I'm finishing up my day at work.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. It's been a pretty quiet day, Lost, man. You know, I haven't heard anything out of your most favorite subject that you don't want talked about on this show.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I That like frees me up. I have no Popeye shorts to do. Nobody's really doing anything idiotic, you know.
I think if someone said his girl's gone away, so he won't have a phone.
Well, tough titty.
Uh, oh God. Fuck, I'm a useless typer.
Hey, Lost, do you have him on Facebook?
Whom are we referring to?
Andy.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Oh, all you got to do is hit the forward button.
How's that? I say hello to my baby. I'm the only one in the chat she hasn't said hello to. I'd send it again, Andy. Tell me if it doesn't work. I'm just going to have to put the link in there and take that chance, mate. We want to get you on here, Andy.
Yeah, there we go, Andy. I just sent it. I forgot about just doing the stupid share the link thing. Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome, bro.
Just got rid of Just got it from Lost. Okay, cool. Come on, babe. When are you going to say hello to me? Jeez.
Hello.
She's saying hello to everybody.
You're looking for. I could see it in your eyes. I could feel it in your touch.
don't do that. I might do a drive-by. Jesus. Roberto, you're in a mood for mischief, aren't you?
Oh, he's a slippery one, old Roberto. You got to watch out for those bosun mates, man. I could tell you a lot about bosun mates, man. And the first thing I'm going to tell you, 99.9% of the time, don't fuck with a bosun mate. Okay? Now, myself, I was a gunner's mate. That's called a bosun mate with a hunting license. Okay?
Jesus.
That's even a little bit more dangerous. Okay?
I can tell about a guns mate. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Yeah, I didn't say hello to me either, man. I'm supposed to be she's supposed to be my number one fan.
There you go, Crystal. There you go.
I've been up all night, man. I'm not sure I'm going to make it today.
No worries then, Andy.
I've got a fuckload of questions. Some are going to blow your fucking mind, I think.
Oh, cool. What's it? Well, keep them for the quiz. Keep them for a quiz.
That's right. That's what I mean. That's what I've got them for. I forgot to put me fucking horses in the races as well because I was bloody doing questions for a quiz. Listening to fucking Deep Purple and fucking and yeah, and doing quiz questions, researching quiz questions. I got some wild ones in here. Blow me away what I found. Some of the things I found out.
Don C. And damn, Andy's voice is really strong before coffee. You might need a couple of coffees there, Don C. I'm just finishing one off myself.
Actually, I'm kind of feeling fucking, even though I've been awake all night, I'm kind of feeling fucking really good, actually. I don't know, kind of therapeutic yesterday, getting the bobo. It was fucking,
There you go. You sound better too, Andy. You can hear it in your voice, mate.
So I hadn't finding out information, stuff. It's been, I love learning shit, so it's probably been one of those parts of it too.
I tell you, I subbed to a channel today, Andy. I don't know if you already are, or it's called Weird History.
Yeah, got that. I'm on that.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I subbed to that.
You guys ever hear of tongue twisters?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if you can repeat this one.
Probably not.
High jive and a Phobes Haven graven.
If you wrote it down, where to say it?
High jibes in a. Well, I can't even remember what you said. See, I got dementia, mate.
I'll say it again. High jive and a Phobes Haven graven.
High jives in a Phobes Haven graven.
All right, that was a simple one.
Oh.
Now I'm going to give you a very difficult one. Intiminti dimini fig, aichi ochi domine, aichi paichi dominici, out goes YOU.
I give up.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took me to learn supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Spell it. Spell it for us.
No. I know. What is the other one I knew? The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. What does it mean? Roberto, your guess is as good as mine, mate.
Well, I got a news flash for you guys.
Okay.
Top congressional leaders meet with President Trump over the escalating tensions with Iran. That is not good.
No.
No, it's not.
That means something's going to go down.
Jeez.
Please, not again.
I don't want it to. That's for damn sure.
You know, the thing, I mean, this is what pisses me off about politicians. And, you know, they make all these decisions, and at the end of the day, it's young men who are paying the price for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Trump earlier today, and he was talking about, look, they shot our drone down.
Oh,
Okay. And we were not in their airspace, and it was unprovoked. They also, attached mines to oil tankers and exploded oil tankers that are going through the Gulf of Hormuz. Not good. All right.
You say though, isn't it?
Well, it's not good. And he says, look, he doesn't want war. He doesn't want to have to,
I'm in two minds, Papa. I mean,
Didn't he
one
one
is why would Iran do this when they know what will happen? Two is this another false flag?
I can answer both those questions for you. Iran is doing this because we have really tough sanctions on them. Okay? And we are putting the screws to them to stop their nuclear program. And it's really hurting them. So what they're trying to do is, let's blow up a few oil tankers, shoot down a fucking drone, and maybe they'll fucking loosen the sanctions so we can have our money coming in. But you got to understand about Iran, what they've been doing for over 40 years is killing Americans. 1983, they killed Americans in Lebanon. They blew up the Marine barracks.
You guys shot down a passenger plane. Remember?
When was that? Yeah, let Popeye finish. Hang on, Eddie.
Was it?
Hang on, let Popeye finish, and then we can address.
Yeah. So they killed 283 Marines. All right. All the time we were fighting in Iraq, they were sending in Iranian Sunnis to set IEDs and kill Americans. All right. So it gets to the point where, they're either going to conform, get rid of their nuclear shit, or the whole country is going to go hungry, or there's going to be a war. Okay. And I guarantee you, if there's a war, America will turn that place into a fucking parking lot. That's what I would do. I'd turn it into a parking lot. I wouldn't put one boot on the ground, not one boot. I'd fucking carpet bomb them all, fucking night and day. And when everything's nice and fucking level, I'd send in a team and I'd fucking erect a McDonald's.
That's harsh, Bob. The only thing I'm not against what you're saying. The only issue I have with it is when we're talking about the
Exactly.
killing of children, the killing of children,
and he's actually, President Trump has come out and said, "Look, I don't want to put American boots on the ground. I don't want to see our young men die."
Yeah.
And he's one of the few presidents I've seen express that. Just to what you're speaking about right now.
Yeah.
1988, 3rd of July, 1988. Iran Air Flight 655 shot down by the USS Vincennes.
Was there a reason? Was it a reason behind it? Was this an accidental?
Well, accidental.
It does happen, Andy.
Americans in the Gulf where they.
Yeah,
it's the same old thing, man. It's the same old thing.
Andy, just relax for a minute. In the Gulf, I'm trying to look at both sides here, Andy. When you're in the Gulf, and you get planes that fly off their normal flight paths, shit like that can happen. Okay. I'm just trying to look at it from both sides, mate.
Yeah, no. Well,
You know what I'm like, Andy. I like to be fair, and I like to look at things at both sides. I'm not saying I'm not going to be critical of something like that. I just want to look at both sides.
Incorrectly identified the Airbus as an attacking F-14 Tomcat. You think
Let me tell you.
Greatest country, not greatest country in the world, but with all your shit and stuff that you'd be able to recognize a bloody Airbus.
Hey, no. Technology is not foolproof, Andy.
No, Andy, let me tell you a little secret. The subject you brought up, 1985.
88.
Let me tell you a secret. I was in Philippines in 1985, and dude, I was not paying attention to politics. I was not paying attention to world events at that time. I was knee deep in San Miguel and Filipina pussy, dude.
I'm not blaming you, man.
All right, so I can't. What I'm trying to tell you, Andy, I can't. I'd have to research it. I can't speak intelligently to it. Okay.
Well, I know it's a fact. So it's
all right. So if you give me that chance, I'll take a look at the situation and I'll come back and I'll address it to you. Is that fair?
Oh yeah. No, look. You don't have to address it. Oh, look, it's a fact. You guys shot down 1988. Too.
I thought you said 85.
No, it's 88.
I never even heard of that incident, Andy.
Well, there you go. See, I'm I know lots. I'm all kinds of things.
I'll tell you what, Copper. You give me a chance, I'll research it and I'll get back to you with it. That way we can have a proper go back and forth.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm into peace, man. There is no, shit.
What I'm talking about is a proper conversation. I'm not talking about, arguing with you.
All right.
Okay?
Because, you guys...
Is that fair? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I don't really,
I like to be fair to you, Andy.
Fair? Okay.
Well,
it's just, you guys, you seem to want to be the police of the world, but you pick and choose.
No, hang on.
They pick and choose.
Andy, I think the world expects them to police everything.
Hell no, I don't expect to police anything.
Let me tell you a little secret, Andy. President Trump went to the G20 meeting. No, the NATO meeting. And he put every one of them on notice. You are not giving 2% of your GDP to uphold and take care of NATO. And he told them, if you do not start giving 2% of your GDP like you promised in the accord, you'll be kicked out of NATO. Well, all these European countries just about shit on themselves, okay? And so they're starting to give more money and they're starting to get more active. So the United States doesn't have to be the police of the world.
And NATO, my personal opinion is NATO is needed. It's in a
Yeah, it's needed to thwart the Chinese and the Russians.
I agree.
You know?
I mean, the Russians probably not the threat that they once were, but China is fast becoming the new threat to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people might not see that, but that's my personal opinion on it. That I mean, China's always been in the background. I mean, they were in the background in a lot of the wars in Asia there, Korean, even Vietnam, and now I think that they're going to be the new threat. Not so much Russia, but definitely China.
Yeah, China is the new threat. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when Joe Biden come out and said China's not a threat, I started laughing. I said that motherfucker will never make a serious run for president. Fucking goddamn, even my fucking Chewini knows fucking China's a threat. Okay.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think. I mean, Andy probably is not agreeing with me this, but I think NATO is necessary. And as far as the world police go, yeah, America does hold that title. And what I think a lot of us don't realize is that they're expected to by a lot of countries.
Yeah, well, you know, I consider the Australians my cousins.
Yeah, me too. I consider you our hillbilly cousins.
No, I don't think you're hillbillies.
No, you are. You guys are.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! If you want hillbillies, go over to Great Britain.
No. That's Mother England.
We don't do blue blood inbred shit here, man. Okay. If you want shit like that, go to England.
No, hang on, Poppy. I'm gonna take you to task on that because I mean, if
Go
you go
right
to
ahead.
if you go to
Go
Havoc,
right ahead.
if you go to Havoc territory and Bama territory, you're probably gonna find some of that inbred.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to shine it off on you. I'm just going to tell you, like, yeah, a little slice of that is down there because, man, holy shit, that's where fucking down south. That's where, you know, some of the first inbreds really started settling. You know.
I like to think of it more that they became inbred rather than inbreds going and settling it. But you know, I think it's rough saying hillbilly cousins. But I do believe that there is a great tie between America, Australia, and the UK.
Definitely there is. Yeah, definitely there is. You know, even though we kicked their ass in the Revolutionary fucking War, they still love us, man. You know, and we love them. We get over it. It should be one of the world's greatest lessons.
Look, Lefty, I was just playing, mate. I don't like the guy, but I was just playing. Don't take it to heart, Lefty. But
I want to say that Donald Trump said today, whatever he can do, Canada he will. American has to keep. Oh yeah, okay.
Pardon me.
Fucking, I should have muted that one.
There's no pardon for bald-headed bastards like yourself.
Hey.
I should throw Canada in that, the UK, Australia, and America too.
No,
Sorry.
you shouldn't.
Why? Why is that?
Canadians are stupid. Because Lefty's here and I want to give him shit.
Now, nobody's saying Havoc is an inbred, okay? We just said that happens down in that area. So relax, Lefty. Okay.
But he is a paint sniffer. And that's by his own admission.
Oh, dude. Shouldn't go around telling people you huff paint.
No. No, if you're going to put it out there, people are going to...
Well, it's the fact that most of the inbreeding happens in cold. They have nowhere to go when they're snowed in, and they, they're banging each other's family members.
Look, I mean, a lot of it's tongue-in-cheek, but... yeah.
Oh, you look at Texas, man. That's the land of mongoloids. They're down there having sex with queers and steers. Don't wonder why you get what you get down there. Okay?
That's funny. It's funny you said that, Popeye, because when I was in Oklahoma, the Okies used to tell me that everyone used to say Oklahoma was the land of queers and steers. It's kind of that's where I first heard that expression, queers and steers.
Hey, you just got fed, all right?
They got
Not getting
a lot of
anything else.
a lot of states that board each other, kind of pick on each other. I remember a long time ago, Louisiana had this little law about clear trash bags for a while. I was pretty young, but there was a big joke that went around like, why does Louisiana use clear trash bags? So the people in Mississippi can go window shopping. You got
Jesus.
So there's a lot of stuff between the different areas where the states that board each other kind of pick on each other. So
Yeah, I used to hear that too about, like, we used to say that joke about the Italians and what's the most dangerous job in Italy? It's riding shotgun on the garbage trucks. Or why do the birds fly upside down in Italy? Because the people aren't worth shitting on.
Hey, so can I change the subject only because when I fucking talk about war, I'm fucking not a happy chappy when it comes to war. You don't want to bring me down again, do you? For fuck's sake.
No, mate. Well, you can talk about whatever you want, Andy.
I've got a question here for you.
All right.
Was it fucking? I just read this here when I thought it's not a question I'd ask, eh? Fucking. Oh, fucking.
So your question is fucking fucking?
Yeah, I might hate my mouth. Fucking does what it fucking wants. It goes and takes me into a different fucking place. Fucking just out of interest, this is just one of those questions just to see if you guys are. What do you think a group of ferrets is called?
A group of what?
Ferrets.
Ferrets.
Oh, God. I'd have no idea, Andy.
A pack? Who knows? I don't know. It's probably not that. There's got to be something different. Go for it.
Oh no, Popeye, got any ideas? What a group of ferrets?
A gaggle?
Nope. Anyone else?
A troop?
Nope.
Alabamas?
No.
All
Yeah,
right.
a group of ferrets.
Thunders? Popeyes?
Jesus, lost.
A group of ferrets is actually called a business.
Really? I've never heard. I don't think I've ever heard that.
There you
That's
go.
weird.
I thought I'd fucking change it to something different. That's all.
What's it called?
A business.
A business?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What?
Oh, that's unusual.
I will allow the Barry jokes to commence.
I'm all buried out, I think.
I want to tell you all that I am now filing a class action lawsuit against Lost in Nomad for defecation of character.
So you want me to defecate on your character?
Mate, what's funny is when I heard someone talking to Barry about service industry, and he said he's not going to discriminate. He'll serve military personnel as well as anybody else.
My fucking God.
That was hilarious. I don't know who wrote that in there, but it was the funniest bloody thing. And
when I worked for the county, man, I had this fucking I had this guy that worked with me, and I swear to Christ, he was a fucking inbred. He was from Tennessee, and one day we're sitting in the office and we're having a chat, and he was talking about some chick, and he said, yeah, she had her fucking pants open and you could see her public hair, right? And me and the other guy started looking at each other, and I says, well, what color was her public hair? Well, her public hair was, you know, and I said, oh, okay, dude. I didn't have the heart to tell him, you know, maybe you mean pubic hair?
Well, what can I say? If I seen public hair down there, I'd probably stop looking.
I'm like, you know, and the minute I heard Wingnut say all that shit, it brought that story back to mind immediately. Okay, brought that story back to mind immediately.
I tell you what, Popeye, I was standing with a few of my mates, and we're at a party and doing the usual thing, mate. There's about 4 or 5 of us standing in a line trying to look cool and all the rest of it. And I was standing next to a friend of mine. Actually, you know him, Andy, Darren. I was standing next to Darren. He's a fairly big guy, big beard. And this girl walks past, and of course, some of the other guys there were trying to stand next to us to be cool. And this girl walks past, and my mate Darren turns around and goes, look at that fucking ugly bush pig. And the guy next to him goes, that's my fiance.
Oh my God.
So, mate, it was probably wrong, but we just fucking pissed ourselves laughing. And
man, that's fucking terrible. Bush pig. Oof. Thought I heard them all, man.
Oh yeah, that was the name for if you've seen an ugly girl, it was a bush pig. Barmer said his bowling league handicap was 4 toes on 1 foot.
4 toes on 1 foot.
Jesus.
Oh.
Actually, me and Andy had to go at. We had a bowling team there for a while. We used to go once a week just for something to do, and it was a bit of fun.
Yeah, no, it was good fun.
We even won. I think we won the championship once, didn't we?
I was the last one. You all left.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just great idea just hit me, man. Fucking, I know a way Barry can make money.
Uh-oh.
I shit you not, and it's legal as fuck. All right.
Has it got anything to do with the fact that he's got no teeth?
Nope. All he's got to do is open up a show and call it Vocabulary with Bama. Okay.
That would be the fucking funniest fucking YouTube channel.
Dude, they'll be throwing fucking wads of cash at him, man. Be throwing fucking wads of Vocabulary with Bama, man. I'm telling you, man.
You know what? You're onto something there, Popeye, because if he didn't take himself so seriously, he probably could do quite well.
You know what's the greatest form of humor? It's called self-deprecation.
Yeah. It's true.
Got another question for you, if you just said.
Yeah, go for it, Andy.
I've got a couple actually. Which country's got the most pyramids in the world, in their country?
Peru?
No.
Which country's got the most what?
Mexico.
Pyramid. No, it's not Mexico either.
Colombia?
No. It's quite surprising, actually.
All right, Thunder, say the question for me.
What country has the most pyramids?
Oh, what country has the most pyramids? Oh,
it'll be a South American one, I believe.
Guatemala.
Nah.
America.
You're on the wrong continent.
Oh, wow.
Egypt.
Okay.
China.
Johnny Karate just said Sudan.
Sudan is correct.
Well done, Johnny.
And another one just out of interest, so I straight off the top of my head here.
Exactly how many? Does it say how many, Andy? Like how many?
Like 255 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
That was the most rupees you could only collect in the original Legend of Zelda.
There's 255 pyramids in the country, and there's 200 in one city alone. So there you go. The other question I got here is what? This is really kind of. I never knew there was I'm just.
Come on, just ask the question, Andy.
What rhymes with purple?
Nurple.
Manurple.
There are two words actually that rhyme with purple. There are two words.
Give the guys in the chat a chance to answer there.
Give them a chance to fucking hit Google.
Well, that too. I have no idea. I don't know. I actually kind of thought purple is one of those words where it didn't actually have any things that rhymed.
That's a hard one. Purple.
Especially if there's only two.
Well, that's why I asked, because I thought it was pretty wild. I couldn't think of. I would have thought about it without this.
Plurple.
Huh? You want to know? You want to know?
Yep. Go ahead.
Well, the first one is purple, HIRPLE, which means to limp awkwardly.
I don't
And
know
the
that word.
second one is curple, CURPLE, which is an old Scottish word for a leather strap that goes beneath the tail of a horse to secure its saddle.
Dude, how deep in your ass did you reach to get that question?
Hey, what do I say? I like learning shit.
Yeah, cool
that's what I'm going to call my new website. You know, where my new search engine. How deep do you have to reach in your ass?
Oh, Jesus. I would have just called it creepy.
Check it out. Check it out what Don C is saying. He says Bama's lack of knowledge. If Bama embraced his lack of knowledge on just about everything, he could be the hee-haw of the Philippines.
Actually, him and PV should get together and try to figure out who can mispronounce the most words.
And they could start out Junior,
how you doing, Junior? Good to see you, mate. Cooey. Yeah. Cooey.
Well, the master's here, isn't he? He told me. I mean, I'm not. You know,
come on. You have to admit, Popeye does a good cooey, mate. For an American, it's as good as any. It's as good as any Aussie's cooey.
An Aussie chick taught me how to do that.
You got the inflection right, everything. Well done, Popeye.
And dude, she did that like 6 times while she was bouncing on top of me, man.
I don't know why, but I just had a vision of that movie, Andy, that was made here in Adelaide, Bad Boy Bubby.
That was a great movie. That had Andy McPhee in it.
Yeah, I remember.
what? Yeah, no, that was a great movie.
And when he said about the girl bouncing on him, I just remember Bad Boy Bubby.
Well, that's right. That's because he picked up a girl from the Salvos, didn't he?
Yeah, Salvation Army, and she's bouncing on top of him with her big boobies.
No, that was Mum had the big boobies.
The girl, I reckon the Salvation Army girl had big boobies too.
I've got.
All I heard was big boobies.
I can check it out. I've got the movie somewhere. I've downloaded it because I'm a sick motherfucker.
Which country has the most lakes? Oh, maybe Canada?
America.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, you got the Great Lakes, but I'm thinking Canada.
What is it? They say like Wisconsin and Minnesota together has like 10,000 lakes or something like that.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if that's accurate. It's kind of a thing up there.
But are they natural or man-made?
I imagine a lot of them are actually natural. There's a lot of definitely a shit ton of lakes. A lot of them are small. I don't know what necessarily would
we're all wrong.
Mass you gotta have for a lake. But
we're all wrong. So natural. Which country has the most natural lakes? And it's not America, and it's not Canada.
It's kind of like It's kind of like asking whether you like, you know, natural boobs or man-made boobs.
All boobs are good.
Okay.
Mm.
Ah, there you go. Finland. Would never have picked Finland, but good question. Very good question.
There's just look. That's what I mean. When you start looking at this shit, it's just so like, just you know, there's just so much shit we don't fucking know.
Oh, here's one for you guys. After World War II, America had given a lot of countries loans. What country is the only country to ever pay off all their loans to the United States after World War II? Nope.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, there's too many countries.
I have no idea.
Is it
Well,
European country?
The only reason I know is because it was a US ex-serviceman when I was in the US he told me it was Australia.
Wicked.
Really? All right. Here's one for you. How many
Hey, Rayman.
sphincters? How many sphincters does the human body have?
Oh, shit.
2 of them for sure. I don't know
I
beyond that.
could say that Barry has one more than everyone else. Sorry, lost. How many sphincters? 3.
I'm gonna go with 10.
Yeah, no idea.
7.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Hey,
Okay.
NC. Okay, here's another one. And this is Andy. Don't answer because this is one you told me. How many brains do we have?
Ross should know this too because he was there when we talked about it.
Well, then don't answer, Lost. How many brains do we have?
Actually, I didn't hear that. How many brains does a human have?
Yes.
Well, I'm only aware of one, but I'm sure that's probably not the answer.
I'd say one brain.
Okay, no, it's 2, and I know this because Andy told me. Does anyone know where the second one is located?
In the arse?
in the male anatomy.
That's a good guess there, mate. Hey, Andy, how you doing? Andy, you want to answer that one because you know it better than I do?
Yeah, well, I'm just fucking double checking my phone. Said the human brain is central organ. 2 humans have 2 brains. Why your brain has 2? Where did I fucking? Yeah, no, fucking. It's supposed to be in our gut area. The second one. It's supposed to be certain parts. I mean, I've been watching this Teo dude, and there's a psychologist fucking page where we've got 2 psychologists have recently found that we've got 2 brains, and one's in our gut area.
Kind of weird, and might have to look up that myself. And sounds interesting.
Well, I know people that got 2 brain cells. One's lost, the other one's fucking looking for it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Rain Man. I mean, that's what I like the idea with what David and them have been doing with the quiz. I mean, not only is it fun to do a quiz, but it's also a great way to learn some unusual facts.
Now, how many sphincter muscles does the human body have?
Oh my God. Geez, if there's 7, you said there were 7 sphincters.
It's not 2 brains as we know it.
Okay.
All right, the human body has 2 brains, but not 2 brains as we know them. This nervous system operates independent of our brain as a result. Is more or less a legitimate second brain. You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, Popeye. I mean, I could get.
Well, there you go. What animal has 32 brains?
The male has 1 sphincter muscle. Okay.
Yep.
The female has 2 sphincter muscles.
Wow.
The asshole and the vagina. See, there's a difference between a sphincter is an opening in the human body. A sphincter muscle is something totally different. I mean, if you had no muscle or O-ring in your asshole, everything would just fall out. A sphincter is in Egypt.
Jesus. DR answered your question,
Wow.
Andy. He said the octopus. Is that right?
Nah, leeches. Leeches have 32 brains. They also have each leech also has every leech also has 2 reproductive organs and 9 pairs of testes.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Octopuses have 9 brains.
Wow. I've seen, no bullshit. I mean, I was watching some stuff on the octopus, and they have to be one of the most incredible and intelligent creatures out there. Their problem-solving ability is immense.
They learn better than us. They don't, like I said, they can. I'd seen a documentary on, and they had this octopus, and they've trained this octopus to do things, and it does all these things, and what they did was they got a fresh octopus and they put in another thing, and they in another aquarium, and they had its food in a place, and it did not really know what to do. And then what they did was they opened up this bit of board in between the 2 aquariums, and the other octopus that knew what it was doing went and did it, and the fresh brand new octopus that didn't know watched the one that did know, and then fucking did it. Fucking hell, that's looking and learning where hell.
Yeah.
The humans.
Yeah, I think a whole lot of other animals in this world do that. You're not.
Well,
not
Jesus.
To rain on your parade. That's not like
now, hold on.
great
There's
sign of intelligence to me.
There's
now,
some value in that, Andy. You explained that so well. You should go over and conduct that test on real Philippine life.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen
the Philippines.
I've seen an octopus where they put a jar in there with its food in the jar, and it studied it for a while and got over and actually opened up the jar to get to its food, which was pretty incredible.
They do some crazy fucking things.
I think we make the mistake of thinking we're the only intelligent life form on this planet, and that's ridiculous. I think.
Oh no, we're not. We're not the only. No.
We're not the most intelligent creature on this planet. No way.
Do people really believe that? Do people really think that we're like the only intelligent creatures on the planet?
Yeah. There's people out there that would believe that for sure. Lost.
Yeah. Okay. To me, to think we're the only intelligent animals on Earth is kind of the silly proposition.
And the other thing is, I would say, is that people have no idea or don't understand how intelligent some creatures are.
Yeah, that's right. Just because you're a fish,
I agree, but they're the only. It really takes our intelligence to the next level, where most creatures keep their intelligence within their environment. For example, they're not exceeding beyond survival reasons for the most part, whereas we as humans that have gone beyond that.
I think there's a lot of creatures out there that are self-aware, Don.
Well, they reckon. What did I see? Look at that. Otters. They reckon otters have been using tools for hundreds of thousands of years. Tools.
Well, chimpanzees do. I heard.
Otters.
I heard a discussion
where
animals
chimpanzees have been using tools.
Otters.
Yeah. I've heard otters.
Otters. Oh, otters. Okay, yeah.
I've heard that they now class chimpanzees as entering the Stone Age.
Yeah, I heard something about that too.
So
there's a few animals that what you call tools. They use they'll use sticks and rocks and different things to help get to their food or whatever.
Well, that's how we started off, Lost.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's our opinion. Of course, other people will have different opinions.
Starve themselves for survival reasons. I got to eat. How the hell am I going to get over there? How am I going to open that jar or whatever, you know? We'll grab a rock, we'll grab a stick.
Andy, come on, be nice.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna put this in a thing.
Don C. Jesus, hell, now they're coming out. They're flying thick and fast.
If you're interested, all right.
We're
That's
always
about,
interested.
that's about 2 brains.
Okay.
So where was the second brain? That's something I'm gonna have to look up because I haven't ever heard that before.
See, they reckon that our brain is actually the operating system now. It kind of fucking, you know what I mean? It just operates everything. Where our nervous system is another brain in itself. It operates independent of our brain.
Well, if you
they say the nervous system is like the power lines that send the signals to everywhere in the body. The brain is still the operating system, if you want to look at it in like a computer type way.
Oh, our brains, our head is responsible for our thinking and processing.
Then my question would be, do you believe
a command center
an animal more intelligent than human on the earth?
I didn't hear that, Lost.
I'm sorry, was it breaking up in a bad spot in the road maybe?
No, it just could be me getting deaf, mate. I just didn't hear.
Okay, no, I was asking, is there supposedly an animal on the planet that's more intelligent than humans, or that it says more intelligent than humans?
Oh, I mean, if we're going to go by the size of brains, ours is not the biggest.
Well, obviously, but that doesn't. I mean, there might be animals that maybe have more potential than us, but I don't think we're.
Oh no, that's mostly water, and we crawled out of the ocean. That doesn't sound so fucking smart to me.
Say what?
I said we live on a planet that's basically water, mostly water, and we crawled out of the ocean. That doesn't seem all that fucking smart. Most of the life on the life on our planet is in the ocean.
So how long ago did we crawl up the water, Andy?
Oh, fuck knows.
All right, well, let's talk about right now.
Hang on, you know, I mean, look, see, you're gonna get fucking narky with me, man. Don't fucking worry about it.
He's not, Andy.
You know, God can hear his fucking tone of voice here, Cobber.
I mean, we're talking about one thing, and then you're going to bring up like we came out of the water at some point.
All right, fucking blah blah blah.
Come on.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Fucking look. Yeah,
no, he's questioning it.
Well,
I'm not fucking. I said that's evolution.
At the moment,
Andy, hold on. I'm not trying to be a douchebag to you by any way. I'm just was asking a question, and you're jumping down my shit.
Jumping down my shit.
I've never heard that one before, but that's cool. Yeah. No, but Andy, I mean, you made a comment. He's just questioning it. That's fair enough.
I said it's evolution, didn't we fucking call out the ocean?
But there might be a reason for that, Andy. We can do more on land than we could ever do. Like, give an example. Dolphins are very highly intelligent, but what can they do in the current form that they're in? I mean, the fact that we have hands and a thumb is what gives us the edge over most other creatures.
Evolution didn't stop with it. Yeah, well, it seems that most of us fucking stopped when we got fucking thumbs.
No, but you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, I mean, a hand is more handy than a fin.
Wow.
We can do more with a hand than something can do with a fin.
I'm curious now, Andy. You're a believer in evolution, or do you think that's not a real thing?
Well, I don't know. On there. I mean, hell, if anything, I mean, you know, like I said, I don't know. On there.
I see. I kind of see where.
So you weren't there when you said.
Fittest, is it? It's not survival of the fittest. Survival of the luckiest.
No.
What about pandas? What about pandas?
What about them, bud?
Well, you know, they had no. They spend most of their time eating, but they've got no predators, so they were lucky.
Yeah, but then no, hang on. The other thing too with them is they're solitary creatures, and as far as breeding and their numbers, they're actually going down. So, I mean, even in captivity, they have an issue with breeding pandas. So maybe not so lucky. They're not getting it as much as we are.
We're lucky, not lucky because we put them in cages. You know,
Don, see, we are predators by nature. That's just, you know, lions and tigers are predators. We're predators as well. We just, you know, we're just the top of the food chain, really. I don't know if that's, I wouldn't call that lucky. I think that's just evolution.
Yeah, we evolved to be the dominant species on the planet.
And I think having the hand and the thumb is something. We are the dominant species, Andy. Well,
do you disagree with being the dominant species on the planet?
Oh, I don't want to fuck. Look, when it comes to you, Ross, I've already decided long ago from our
Andy.
No, I've got nothing to say this cunt.
No, be nice, Andy. Be nice.
Got nothing
You
to
know,
say.
you don't have to agree, but at least be reasonable and try and be nice about it.
He's not gonna. You can be mean and unreasonable and call me a cunt. I mean, it just makes you look bad, not me.
Yeah, no, look, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Hey?
Apparently you do, or else you wouldn't make comments about it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Andy.
He's your friend. He ain't fucking mine. Fuck him.
Well, that's fine, but, at least...
Fuck me, yeah.
I mean, if you want to put an argument across, and you're good at doing that, Andy, but concentrate on doing that rather than attacking the guy. Attack what he's saying.
I don't want to talk to him at all. I told you that in the past. I don't really fucking care what he fucking thinks about anything.
He's actually
we're having
one of the most...
conversations. I thought we were trying to have conversations. I mean, I asked a question and I'm a cunt.
He's actually one of the most reasonable people around, Andy. And if you got to know Lost like I know,
well, that's the problem. I think that's the problem with Andy. Reason is escaping him.
Oh, fuck you, man! Come on, come to Australia, you fucking cocksucker.
This is Andy.
Fuck.
My point was proven.
Your point's proven. Who gives a fuck what you fucking think, you dickhead? I mean it. I do not fucking care.
Oh my goodness, Andy.
See?
No, but Andy, one thing that we've always had between us is that we can disagree, but we can always debate a subject, and that's what we need.
That's not a really debate on. There's no point in debating online.
I disagree.
No point in debating on what?
I disagree.
There's no point in debating on fucking line.
Of course there is.
No, it is.
You can debate it in any type of format. We can debate in emails. I mean, we can.
It's not a debate. This is not a debate. This is not a fucking debate.
What would you like to debate about, Andy? I'm willing to be extremely reasonable. I'm very polite.
I don't care.
I'll be very polite with you always. I mean, if you don't want me to, if you ask a question, I'm not being condescending. I'm not being condescending.
Well, that's what you say, but that's how it fucking comes across to me. So now, where are we coming from? Do I have to, because that's how it comes. That's how.
No, but he's asking you for your opinion, Andy. He's at least giving. He wants to hear your opinion.
Listen, I asked a serious question a while ago. I wanted to know your view if you believed in evolution. And your answer to it was me, I don't fucking know. I wasn't there.
Well, man. Well, see, that's right. Well,
but what's your opinion on it then, Andy? I mean, I do believe in evolution. I know that Lost does. Obviously, Popeye's a creationist.
But right before that, Andy, you said we came crawling out of the water. So I was like, maybe he does believe in evolution. I was just unsure. It was a simple question.
Can we observe that? Can we observe?
No.
We've observed evolution. We didn't observe ourselves coming out of the water.
We're on the fucking planet for a heartbeat.
I have to disagree, Lost. We haven't observed evolution, really.
Yeah, we have. You can look at certain things like say fruit flies, and there are certain things that we've within a few hundred years since Darwin, whenever that was, when he came up with the theory. There's species we've observed how they how they have traits of evolution. So we literally witnessed certain species. Fruit flies one of the examples. I can't think of others off the top of my head, but it's a simple internet search away.
See, evolution is one of those things. We're really going to struggle with it because you're going to have two different lines of thought on it. You're going to have creationists, and then you're going to have the evolutionists, and maybe three. And those who, like with what's Andy's saying, is that we don't know. I guess that's what Andy's trying to say, is we don't really know. And I'm happy to accept that.
No, we don't know. Like we don't know. Yeah, we don't know exactly. Say, for example, using them, we coming out of the water. Like we don't necessarily know we came out of the water. We've used DNA, and we've put together things where that the possibility of that being true is high. Go ahead, Andy.
If I can pull it up. Sarcasm. I guess you didn't fucking hear that, did you?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your sarcasm. I heard rage.
That's why we can't argue on fucking mind.
And Andy, what is your view? This is what I guess what me and Loss are saying now is, what is your view on evolution? What do you have a view? Do you have a view?
Well, we haven't observed it.
Well, no, that's true, but no, we haven't observed it in humans. I know what Lost is trying to say with other
yeah, we
species.
haven't exactly. We haven't. I mean, obviously there are certain things. Obviously, we can't observe. I mean, we can't go back millions of years and observe things, but we can observe things that actually have happened that science over the past few centuries has observed, and we can, we know for a fact that certain evolution traits have happened in species that we have observed.
See, Don C put something in here. I don't know if he's joking or serious, but it is a serious answer. I believe evolution was created. That's probably something that Andy would probably agree with.
Well, the Sumerians, if anything, I mean, that's probably where I lie the most, is we've possibly been fucking the Sumerians, maybe Korea, the Anunnaki, maybe a fucking
I don't think there's I know where you're coming from, and I watched that too, Andy, and it's so interesting, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure there's enough evidence yet to say that is the truth, but it's interesting, and me and Lost actually have talked about that quite a lot because there's enough there to take it seriously.
See, so hang on, let me just all right, I'm gonna try and be as polite as I fucking can. Please, yeah. So what do you think? I said I believed in God. So what God do you think I believe in?
No, well, I already know, Andy. You believe that there is a God. Well, you just don't believe what everyone's telling you.
That's right.
Yeah, I would actually have to ask you that question because I don't know what God you believe in. I don't know if the little bit I've talked to you, you don't seem like a very religious guy.
No,
so
Andy's.
When you did say the other day,
Andy's not religious. He's spiritual. But Andy believes.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know if. I don't know.
About the actual fucking evolution question. I mean, really, who gives a fuck?
But it's a subject we're just talking about. It's a topic. Andy.
Well, tons of people give a fuck is what I'm trying to say. Like people care about, facts. I guess they want to know like where did we come from?
Well, hang on.
How did we come up? People generally want to know how did we come about, and that's why there's all these different sciences, and even religions. They try to come up with the answers for that. So I think people truly do want to know where we come from.
Well, see, I'm starting to see this is fucking really important myself.
No, but it's curiosity and it's human nature. For you, but
let's not pretend like I have zero interest in some things, but that don't mean there's other people that have vast interest in a particular subject. Just because you don't think it's uninteresting or you don't care, whatever it might be, that don't mean there's vast numbers of other people that do.
How can I have an opinion about it if I'm not interested in it?
Well, exactly. Well, hey, check this out. Ask me what I think about I don't know, Jainism.
Why?
I don't have an opinion on it, Andy. Or I could go, you're a fucking cunt. You're being sarcastic, whatever the hell you called me a minute ago. I mean,
I don't give a fuck. I can't.
No, he's making a point, Andy.
I'm just making a point. There's a way to answer it out without, jumping down my shit.
You decide.
I'll use it again, jumping down my shit.
How I answer, you decide. Oh, fuck you, man.
Andy, see, you're taking things all the wrong way. I'm asking you, dude, we can be polite with each other. You may not like me, that's fine. I have no problem with you. I like you, okay? If you don't like me, you can still be polite to me.
No,
I mean, you don't have to. No, you're right, you don't, but...
You tell me to do. I don't have to do anything you tell me to do. Remember that.
None of us do, Andy, but there's a certain etiquette here that we're ignoring, and that's to respect people's opinions. You know, if you don't agree with an opinion, have a go at that opinion. Try not to do it though without attacking the person.
Look,
Andy, you are one of the most passionate and emotional people I know, but you're also one of the most interesting because you have usually an opinion on everything. And you've said that to me yourself, Andy.
And I agree with that, Thunder. The times I've talked to him, he's very interesting, and I like his views on things because he has different takes on things. You know, not everybody can think outside the box of their. I'm sorry, I'm rolling my windows. They can't think outside their own little confinement sometimes. But honestly, you think way beyond, not outside just the box, but outside just all kind of stuff. And I find it very interesting. I like talking to you. I'm sorry you dislike me.
Wait for me.
You know,
I will continue to be polite to me. You can be a douche to me. I don't care. I still think you're an interesting guy. But you do what you got to do, brother.
Call me in. Don't call me Call me a douche. I'll fucking get you a cunt. I don't really care fucking at the moment. Look, I've been awake fucking since you seen me yesterday, man. No excuses, though. There are no excuses.
No, there's no excuses, but like I said, there's a certain etiquette, and I think you agree with me, Andy. It's better to attack someone's opinion rather than attack them. And I respect Lost's opinion as much as I respect yours, Andy. You're both really interesting guys. You both have a great take on things, and your interest on both of you guys is so varied.
No, I just all I fucking heard was his. Well, as far as I'm concerned, now it may not have come out of your mouth like that. You may not have but it came across to me as condescending. That's all.
Okay. But Andy, as a third party in this, I didn't see it that way.
Well, that's right. But
all right, well, listen, Andy, if it came off as condescending, I apologize. And hereforth, okay, I will not ever try to be condescending to you without literally letting you know I'm going to start joking around. But during that time, I was actually being serious. I thought we were having a serious discussion, and my questions to you were serious. So if you took it another way, my apologies.
I just heard a tone of voice, that's all.
Yeah, and you know what, Andy, me and a certain person have talked about this. When you can't see body language and facial expressions, it's really hard, even when we can hear tone of voice, because when we communicate, body language and facial expressions are all part of communication, a big part of it.
And that's why I'm saying there's no point arguing online.
No, you don't argue, but you can discuss.
We'll discuss.
And Andy, you're one of those people that I can sit there, and we've done this for hours and talk about subjects, and we don't always agree, but we try to be respectful to each other.
You hit me.
Yeah, I'll hit you. No, Andy, I've never hit you in my life.
I know, and I probably might even deserve it.
But Andy, I am very curious about your belief in a God.
Well, the source. How about the source? Does that work for you?
The source of all Hold on. Well, when you say the source, I have more questions. I'm not quite understanding that. Like the source of all creation? Is that how you mean it?
There is something going on, man.
To put it, I mean, I know Andy is spiritual, and I know he believes that there's a God, or maybe it's not even called a God, but he believes that there's something. And I guess
So
the
you
issue we all have.
so he believes, or I'm asking Andy, I don't know.
Sorry.
Third party.
No. Look, I'll be right back. You guys go for it. I'm just going
to. So you believe there's like some kind of superpower that has kind of maybe created everything and keeps everything in kind of a balanced type of way? Is that what basically you're calling God?
The universe, maybe?
Yeah, the whole shebang. Yeah, the whole universe, Earth, whatever.
The universe will always exist.
Yeah, I agree. I believe the universe has always existed and probably will always exist.
There is no, the Big Bang is just out. Like I said, we look at things, we make judgment calls to try and understand. I get that, but some of it makes up a lot of fucking crap. To me, fucking. There's lots of things that I disagree with.
I think you're very skeptical, and that's good. There's a lot of things I disagree with, and like I say, I just try to go with what is more true, I guess.
Well, what's true?
Facts. It's
true. See, that's what I mean. I get to the point of like, how deep do you want to go? What is truth? What is anything?
Well, how do we get to truth? It would be the question.
I'm not sure we can.
We can get to truths. I mean, maybe not every truth of everything, but we can get to certain truths.
I was reading something last night and I bookmarked it because I thought of you. Because, I might be a cunt because I am a cunt. So remember that. Just so you remember, I am a cunt. Just so you know. I'm here. 21 mysteries about space. No one can explain. Fucking.
But do you think there are things just within the past probably a few hundred years that we didn't know that were unexplained and we've been able to explain them? Do you think probably some things will always be maybe unexplained? I don't know, but don't you think we'll be able to explain certain things probably in the near future?
I don't know. It's like we make judgment calls about our solar system. We ain't left, unless you count the moon, and there's fucking a lot of people that don't seem to count that. But if we count going to the moon, that's the furthest we've been, and we only did it how many times? 6 times.
Well, yeah, but humans have only been to the moon, but we've put in like drones and those type of things on, let's say, Mars. We've got satellites that are like past Pluto now and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what is it? Voyager? Fucking whatever that fucking thing is. We can't even contact it anymore, can we?
Wait, what is it? I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you. What was it? What was it?
Fucking I can't think of the words I'm looking for. Fucking see, that's what I mean. That's what my problem is these days. I just can't think of the words. I want to find that.
Yeah, I get that too. That's why I try to get people in the chat to help me out. What am I trying to talk about?
Freaking like.
But let's say just 500 years ago, don't you think we have a better understanding of the let's just say our solar system, better than we did say 500 years ago?
Well, do we?
I mean, at one time we thought Pluto was a planet. Now we think it's just mainly a gassy thing, and we're not calling it a planet anymore.
But it's still there is supposedly still another planet out there.
Yeah, they believe there's they're detecting some kind of gravitational thingamajob. I don't know the words to use where they think there's a planet orbiting out there.
That's right. There's another planet out there that we can't. Planet 9.
I mean, imagine how many more planets and stars and moons and whatever we're probably going to discover over the next century or so.
Well, if you look at, I'm going to use it's no proof of it, of course, but say Nibiru. It's supposed to have a 3,800-year fucking cycle. Well, that's like how many generations of humans?
Yeah, a shit ton. I hope that Planet X or whatever it is, Nibiru, I hope they that's what they think they may have they may discover. That'll be pretty amazing if they actually find that thing. Because man, I wonder what how Zachary Stitchin will re-come to light again, because he's the one who supposedly translated all those uniforms to find out about that.
I got to wonder about that, because with all the shit said about it lost, you would have thought that they would know about it by now.
Well, I mean, space is pretty vast. It's hard to.
How big is our solar system?
Sorry, Andy?
How big is our solar system? Do we even know?
I think we have a good idea.
Yeah, there's actual measure. I don't know it, but yeah, if you want to internet search it, they'll give you the.
Let me help you.
Whatever.
Let me help you, cretins out. Okay?
The voice of reason comes in.
First and foremost, how much of our brain do we use?
A lot more than
all of it, Popeye. All of it.
No, that's not true. That is not true.
It's fact.
Look, you need to go look it up. Neurologists say we use 100% of our brain all the time.
Damn.
No.
Actually, all right, let me finish what I'm going to say, okay?
Okay.
Well, you cut me off like a bunch of heathens.
You asked a question, I answered.
All right.
Let him
I don't
finish.
need a diatribe. In all actuality, we only use 10% of our brain. Okay. So you can cry bullshit all you want. So going off of that, how much do we really know about the universe, the world, everything that goes on around us? Probably about 10%.
It's a myth. 10%.
Yeah, that's a myth. I've heard that too. I think it's around about 70% or something I've heard. But we do use a greater percentage than we think, but it's not 100%. No way.
All right. And, if you believe in evolution, that we come from monkeys, okay.
That's not what evolution says.
I come from
monkeys. That's not what evolution says.
I'm coining the phrase, okay? Relax.
Let Popeye finish, guys.
All right. I'm coining the phrase. Relax, man. I don't mean actual monkeys, all right? But you know what I'm talking about. So, if we did evolve, how much further are we going to evolve? We do not know. Okay? We just don't. Our knowledge is, and what I'm trying to tell you all, our knowledge is so limited to what goes on around us every day, and what's actually really happening is astounding. Okay? And
I agree with that, Popeye, but we're not unlimited in our knowledge either.
Never said that. Never said that. Never said that. And there's one factor in all of this. It's called time. How long did it take us to get to this point through evolution?
They say roughly 100,000 years.
100,000 years. Okay? Ooh, that's a long fucking time.
Absolutely.
Time. All right. So guess what? You'll be dust and fucking powder before any human, if they're still around from another 100,000 years from now, has even a quarter of the answers.
Hey, Papa, I have a question for you. Do you believe in the theory of evolution?
I have a theory on it. People say, well, if you believe in evolution, if you believe in evolution, you can't believe in God, because God created man. Right? Well, who's to say the assholes who wrote the Bible got it wrong, and in a slight way? Okay, because did they have science back then? Very limited. Okay, simple as that. And so,
hey, Papa, can I ask you the question?
Say that,
do you believe in the theory of evolution?
who's to say that God did not create evolution? And that's how he created man.
Yes,
Well, right now science says that, but there's a theory outside of religion. It's just science. It's a scientific theory of evolution. Do you take any belief in it? I mean, do you think it's
It could be true. I mean, I can only look at what scientists present.
And science is changing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Science has also come out and
we
said, "Hey,
update, we get
dude."
more
Science has also come out and said, "Hey, dude, we got it wrong. It's more like this." Have they not?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what science does. I mean, that's the whole point of science.
Right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not putting it down.
You
Don't get
more,
defensive.
yeah, no, not at all. But just we get more information and we can we have a better understanding. No, I wasn't offended at all, Papa. No,
it sounded like you're a little defensive there, man.
No, I was agreeing. I just wanted to stress the point more.
Okay.
Mainly for my Australian brother over there.
God and science can be one.
I'm sorry, Andy. That was condescending. I was being condescending.
Now you're being sarcastic, motherfucker.
I just want to bring.
Sorry. I told you I wasn't going to do it. I apologize.
I kind of. I was a little bit surprised. We have the great Aloe de Winter, probably the most hated man on YouTube, in our chat. Andy, meet Aloe. He just said hello,
Aloe's
Andy.
Here?
I think you're doing evil.
I haven't.
Well, hello, Aloe.
Aloe.
I haven't talked to Aloe in a very long time, and I want to tell Aloe I'm going to kill him. I haven't told him in a long time. Aloe, I'm going to kill you until you die, and after you die, I'll kill you again.
Aloe has a reputation, Andy, that very few of us will ever attain.
Oh, I know nothing about it, man.
No.
It's the Eureka flag, buddy. I'm a rebel.
He wants to know, is that the Eureka Cross?
Yes, it is. Well, Eureka flag. It's a Southern Cross. The BLF fucking has it.
Is that the first time Aloe's been over here?
The very first time I've seen Aloe here.
Well, greetings, Aloe. I don't know. I can't,
Don't judge and yeah.
I'm not gonna judge you.
Boy, listen to Andy and Aloe talk. That would be interesting.
Aloe has actually been to Australia, Andy.
Has he?
He's quite well travelled. Yeah, he has been to Australia.
Cool.
I believe, and please, Aloe, correct me if I'm wrong. He lives between a couple of countries, I believe, Switzerland and the Philippines, but is very well travelled.
Oh, cool.
Oh, would you like to have him on?
If you want, Popeye. I mean,
if you would like to come on, Aloe, if you can control your cravings, you're more than welcome.
I mean, he's more than welcome to come on and join this conversation. Yeah, you gone robotic on us, Lost.
No, but yeah, I hate to agree with Lost, but yeah, we probably use 100% of our brain. I'm sorry, it's a myth. The 10% is a myth.
The 10%.
The left brain.
Yeah, that's an old thing that's an old thing that's been dispelled a couple of decades ago.
Yeah, Popeye. Aloe said, "Why not?" So
yeah, I just sent him the link.
Like someone said, this would be interesting. Aloe and Andy's conversation. You actually, it's. I'll give you a little rundown, Andy. Aloe is a shit stirrer of the fucking highest degree. I actually don't agree or like a lot of stuff he says, but he is an intelligent guy and can be reasonable at times. So, well, not at times. He can be reasonable.
I can be reasonable at times too.
Of course. But Aloe has the reputation of being probably the biggest shit stirrer on YouTube. So you might actually get along with him.
All right, cool. I don't mind shit stirrer. Freaking, and Mm.
Evil Andy said, "Laugh out loud. He's an asshole." Well, he might be that too. One thing that you can say about Allo, he does not hide from anything he's said or.
Mm.
We all want that title. No, RC Dre. David, you do not want that title. Allo is very special, isn't he, Popeye?
He's my favorite lunatic.
I find the word lunatic, yeah, maybe at times, but I also find that he's very well spoken.
Yeah, he is.
Quite intelligent. But fuck, if he attacks you, you do not want to be on the end of fucking one of his tongue lashings.
And he actually uses the word defecation in the proper context.
and he knows what service industry means.
Yes, he knows. Yes.
Good day, everyone. Do you guys hear me well?
Yep, loud and clear. Hello, welcome.
Loud and clear. Welcome.
Thank
Good
you. Afternoon, Allo.
Good afternoon. How are you guys?
G'day, mate.
Shit. How long have you been, guy? How long have you been on?
Oh, good question. Just checking here.
2 hours.
Yeah, nearly 2 hours.
Not bad.
It's pretty well. I won't say this is a Philippines-based channel or Australian-based, or it's just a talk shit channel, Allo.
And yet,
which is good, yeah.
When I talk shit, you give me shit.
No, but no. You can talk shit, Andy. But when we're having the debate or discussing anything, attack what they're saying rather than the person.
Hang on, but talking shit doesn't mean that. Talking shit means I can do anything I fucking want.
Well, you can do anything you want because fucking you're my mate, and I'm going to let you get away with it anyway. But we are going to have a talk about etiquette at some point.
All right.
What's up, Allo? Long time no speak.
Well, I have listened to your last live stream. I think it was over on Kev's channel. I'm not sure. I think Bama was on. No, the Shield. The Shield. I think it was the Shield, right?
Yeah, that's
perhaps.
Where Lost the Nomad tried to talk some sense into Bama.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I remember that. I remember that one. But yeah, it has been a while since Lost the Nomad and I have been on the same panel. I think the last time was on Quentong Baliu's channel.
Yeah, I believe so.
Probably more than a year ago.
Tell me something, Allo. Is this a gift that you've got of rubbing people up the wrong way, or is you work hard at it?
I think it doesn't really take that much. I think everybody could do it, once you somehow. No, honestly, once you somehow analyze a little bit the people that are here on the panel or in the comment section, they give away their weak points sooner or later. You just listen a little bit, and then you figure out what kind of a person might be behind that screen. And then you try a few things, and once it sticks, you just continue, and sooner or later people will react. And it always happens. It happens with Bama. It happens with all the other vloggers. Everybody somehow has a something that gets him or her upset, and it's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
So in your case, it's a bit of research and natural ability.
Well, you also have to understand that usually, we are. It's not just me, right? It's just I give people a platform with my channel, and I give them literally a voice to air their concerns when it comes to all these misfits in the YouTube community. And once you have a little bit of a brand like what I got here, the Chester, people will start coming to you and say, hey, look at this guy, look at this vlog, listen to this soundbite, and then it's not that hard anymore, because people somehow believe it's just me, and I can't just take credit for that. It's just a group of people, of like-minded individuals who think that we should somehow do something, or at least use social media to call these guys out for whatever reason. And of course, it's well known who are on that list, on that blacklist.
Well, that there's one particular person, and we all know who that is. It's not hard. It's not hard to prod him at all. And I used to tell the guy that he was his own worst enemy, and I don't see him trying to remedy that at all. I don't see him trying to change.
Yeah, I think it's an inability on his side to really change. I think he grew up like that. He doesn't really know any better. I think he has to somehow survive. That's all it is. It's kind of, he uses YouTube to survive, and some people say, okay, that he's a cool guy, he's easy to talk to, and then others, just like me and others, say we need to call him out for his bullshit, and then the rest is just entertainment. So because a lot of people actually think that we, the guys on these different so-called hate channels, that we are really hateful people, and that's not the case. It's just like, we, at least in my case, it's like creating a persona and using it as a platform to call them out for their BS. I mean, we had like comments like, oh, Aloe is a Nazi, Aloe is anti-Semitic, Aloe makes pedophile comments, Aloe makes death threats, Aloe is like this and like that, and it's a persona that I created with this Chester. But usually in private, like with Popeye or the other guys, it's very very civil. Just like now, we come together, we talk, and I don't want to take away that fantasy of yours, guys, but it's just we are not the same kind of people. When you listen to us, like on a show like The Pony or KB or Popeye or on my live streams, it's not like that. It's mostly a way to provoke, to get a reaction, and that's how social media actually works. You have to, for instance, when you start a channel, you need to somehow do something that everybody will talk about it, kind of like a scandal or something. And once you have people's attention, you have their full attention, then you can talk about the real message. That's how I have done all these channels when I was on RRR or on KB before, or when we did other shows with Popeye here. That's how social media works, Say
So
something, do something.
would you say you are the king of provocateurs?
I can only be a provocateur or a provocateur when the other side lets themselves be provoked. If there is no reaction at all, then it wouldn't work. But the problem is that in the community, somebody will somehow react, and then it's kind of like a domino effect. And you see that all the time, because some people, let's say Peter Vandever is a very good example. There was one time there was a call, just ignore Peter, don't talk about him, don't mention him, don't watch his vlogs, right? And a lot of people said, okay, let's do it, let's give it a try. But after a few weeks, maybe even not even a week or so, people start to react again, because somebody somehow will react, and then it just doesn't work. And it's very easy, to provoke people. It's very easy. There's always a reaction. So these so-called drama channels, everybody, says, okay, I'm not watching drama, I'm not getting involved in the drama, I'm walking away from the drama. But here we are talking about drama, and it just really works, and people want that. It's else it wouldn't be as popular as it is now. I mean, we all know what's going on between Frank and Dave, for instance, or between there's this new guy Larry escaping to the Philippines, or escape to the Philippines, or something like that. There's some tensions building up there between him and Frank. Then we get the whole JW issue. We get the Bama issue. We had Peter Vandiver. So many examples of it. People love the drama, whether they admit it or not. They listen to it. They discuss about it. It's a little bit the schizophrenic attitude that people have towards drama. Everybody listens to it, but nobody wants to admit that they somehow also enjoy it or are entertained by it.
You kind of hit on something it is very true, and it happens on this channel as well with that bit of drama, and it does bring a bit of interest. And I have to admit myself, I've seen the numbers on this channel go up when you speak about a certain person, and we all know who he is. Just moved to Dumageddon. You bring up his name and you start talking about him, and the numbers fly up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So there is interest in it. As you go, I mean, I know you're not silly, Aloe, and you obviously would have seen the days when I was on his channel, and at first, the very first thing I thought is, why are these guys? And I actually was introduced to him through Riff Raff Radio, and I went on there and I started talking to him and wondered why all these guys were hammering him like they did. It was after, I don't know, a couple of months, I guess, of being on his channel that I seen how he was. And then I was seeing what he was actually doing, and understood why he was being attacked like he was. And to be honest, when you're as thin-skinned as he is and you're doing the shitty stuff that he does, I'm not so sure YouTube is a good place for him.
Yeah, you are right about that. And, it's people like you, other people like you, who actually give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's why he has been able to do what he does. I know people who have used their channel to help him out. A couple of years ago, he needed money. He said that he was cut off his social benefits or his insurance money. I don't know, his pension, SSDI, SSI, whatever it is called. And he needed a ticket out of the Philippines. And there were people who tried to help him. And they helped him because they thought, okay, this is a decent guy who just messed up. We all somehow, at some point, sometimes mess up and need help. And these guys try to help him out. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually something that shows that the community actually is full of good people, good, decent people. It's just that it's the bad apples that get all the attention. And, it doesn't surprise me that you believed him or had some sort of sympathy for him, or it took you a while to figure him out. I mean, it happened to me too. I didn't know everything that I know now. There was a time where I thought he is doing quite good. He has changed. I felt like he has turned around. He got something good going with his channel, like the theme or the topic would be living in the Philippines on a very low budget. And I think that would attract a lot of people to his channel. That's something that he could really exploit and take advantage of, because there are so many people out there. They want to know, hey, look, this is a guy, he's in the Philippines. He lives there on like $500 a month. This is going to be very interesting. How does he do that? But the problem was that he started to use his channel to mislead people and lie to them and take advantage of people like you, who are willing to help another guy out. And that's the reason why he is still around. And
he didn't want to live there as such. He wanted to live his life like a tourist there, someone who had, a bit of cash to blow. And that's the problem. He wants to live beyond his means.
Yeah, that's one problem. And the other problem is that he somehow uses his relationship with certain women to supplement his overall income. And I think that's not okay, because these women, or most of them, I think, are from the lower social classes in the Philippines. And what they actually do is they somehow help him out. You know, they work for him. They sign up for internet contracts for him. They do, they clean his clothes, they cook for him, and they somehow have an expectation too, because they do not know that this American guy here is not really after a serious relationship, because he has changed his girlfriends more than he has changed his t-shirts in the last couple of months and years. And that's the problem there. It's a verbal abuse, it's also abuse, a physical abuse probably. And it's a whole mix of problems, and we have seen not only him doing that, but a couple of others too. And what surprises me actually is the fact that there are still people out there who support him, and it's always the same excuses. It's none of your business. What is it to you when Bama breaks up with a girlfriend? What is it to you when he doesn't pay his visa fees, and so on and so forth?
Don't forget the big one, man. You're jealous.
Yeah, then you are jealous, and you don't want to.
Well, that jealous thing is ludicrous, because we've just seen recently him getting jealous of a couple of other vloggers and the super chats they're getting. So when he calls people jealous, it is very ridiculous for him to say that, because we've seen how jealous he gets.
It's the usual defense mechanism. It's either you're jealous or you are. You don't have the balls to do what they do. It's always the same. And I just wonder, is it that his supporters don't see it, or they just don't care? Because if they don't care, then it would make things a lot easier. Because we have a couple of, right now there are a couple of people in this live chat here who also somehow support Bama. And you guys should just ask yourself, does it really matter to you if Bama pays his visa fees or not? Does it matter to you that he treats his girlfriends bad or not? Because if it doesn't matter to you, and when you say, hey, I like this guy for whatever reason, then there's really no need to discuss this. I just wonder, because we have other examples in the community. I don't want to name them here on this channel, but you guys might be familiar with all these cases anyway, where I just ask myself, does it matter to you that somebody, for instance, doesn't pay his child support? Or does it matter to you if somebody has been accused of horrible things? And if it doesn't matter, then why even debate about it? Because when you are always saying it's none of your business, we are it's none of your, you shouldn't even talk about it, then what's the point? But I believe it's our business. It's really our business, because when they use social media for their agenda, then it's okay for us to talk about it too, because that's how social media works. It's, you discuss things in public with others, and you build an opinion on what you have heard and read and seen on YouTube and on FB. That's how it works. So yeah, I believe we have a right to discuss all these things. And of course, they always say, we shouldn't even talk about them. They want to kind of control and censor what we talk about, and that's not okay.
No, and you made another good point, where you put yourself out in the public, so therefore you put yourself out for the ridicule as well.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is, for me, is seeing how he's talked to those girls. How he's, well, I've seen it. We've all seen it. He's cheated on them. But with me, my personally, I had to learn for myself. it's fine for someone to say, hey, this guy is like that, but I had to see it. I had to learn for myself, and I did, and I seen the real guy. Now I don't regret spending that time on his channel, because I did meet some great people on that channel, but yeah.
But when was the point where you said, hey, I
okay, that was when he was living in that apartment next to Jay, and just before he got kicked out, I was hearing things about the $500 to get home and some of those sort of things. And then, because I had been talking to him outside of YouTube, and he admitted to me himself some of the shit he'd done and why he got kicked out. And at that point, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it was when and I'll be the first to admit, I was one of the idiots that sent him money, and he wanted me to send it to, he gave me, I asked for his details to send him the money, but it was in someone else's name, some guy I'd never even heard of before. And I said to him that, no, I'm not going to send money to some guy I don't know, but if you need the money and I can't send it directly to you, I would send it to Jay through PayPal, and Jay could give it to you. And he got kind of pissed off at that. And that was, bang, all the lights went off, because I'm thinking, you know, why aren't you just appreciative that you're getting the money?
Yeah. It's a little bit the sense that, you know, this sense of entitlement, and I have seen that before too. You know, I believe somebody wanted to give him an Xbox, and he said the Xbox 360 is not enough. He wants an Xbox One X or Xbox One S, like a better version of it, and he's not appreciative of what people give him. And you know, I believe that's because he has been getting donations for a very long time now, and he kind of gets used to it already, you know, and he thinks it's kind of normal for people to send him money for whatever reason. Maybe he believes that he is putting out good vlogs and puts a lot of work into these live streams, and people actually should pay him for that. I really do not know.
Well, and let's be honest, Aloe, there's no content there.
There's really no content there, you know. The funny part is also when they always say, without the drama, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. And here are the guys who actually could talk about so many other things, but they also just talk about drama. They also just talk about our channels. I mean, what else does Bama actually do on his vlogs? I really don't see where the quality is of
he gives his location away.
Well, I tell you what I find offensive is when he's talking about having nothing and he needs money to survive, and he's sitting at a bar drinking.
Yeah, you know, I think he just doesn't really care. He doesn't want to change his lifestyle. You know, it's just like the beer, the bars, the cigarettes, the nights out. That's just his lifestyle. And I believe he somehow thinks because he is a vlogger, he is entitled to these donations, and therefore shouldn't be questioned at all. And I must say our boys are doing a really good job, you know, by exposing this person. I mean, they have contacted every hotel and hostel and pension house in the area, and I believe we managed to convince these business establishments to kick him out. And if you have watched the last vlog on my channel, it gives you good information about where Bama is staying right now. And
can I ask
yeah.
I'm trying to be fair here. Is this, you just want to harass him, or you want to get him out of there, Aloe? Because
I think
sorry.
It's a harassment itself is not for the harassment itself. What I mean by that is I think there has to be a price that he has to pay for what he has done. When this goes unchecked, it will invite more people like him to do the same. Because if they see, hey, there's this guy on YouTube, he befriends people in the Philippines, he changes his girlfriend every week, and he can do it for 400, 500 bucks a month. Why not do the same? It's normal. It's okay to do it. Look at this guy who has thousands of subs, and he gets away with it. And obviously, the authorities in the Philippines are not checking on his visa. They are not going after him for the things that he has done. So what can we do as people here on YouTube who watch these guys? It's very limited. And I believe what we can do is what we are doing now, is inform this person about who he really is, and using his own vlogs, his own sound bites, his own video clips where he yells at people, where he threatens people, where he loses his temper, where he insults verbally and also physically attacks women, where he has intercourse with a woman. These are powerful images, powerful sound bites, and the reaction that I got from these business owners is, oh my God, who is this guy? Oh my God, now I know what kind of person he is. And it sometimes or often they would realize, hey, this is not the person I want my business to be associated with, and therefore they told him, it is better that you leave our hotel or hostel. And it's the same with what happened in Minganilla. As you remember, Matt Wilkie's family was renting a room to him, renting out the room to Bama, and I believe he had it really good there. He had it really good there because he had Jay.
I agree.
He had Jay there. He had all these people there. When he was short on money, they would say, you know what, just stay with me, and I'll pay for the food, and just pay me back when you get the money. And I believe that some expenses have also been, just. It was not really an issue. Some expenses have been skipped, where Matt Wilkie just said, you know what, it's okay, just pay the rent, forget about the electricity or the water, and so on and so forth. So he had it really good there, and then he just messed it up with the partying all night and all day, getting drunk, getting loud, and the family of Matt Wilkie just said, hey, enough is enough, and Matt, you need to expel him.
I can tell you also, Aloe, he got violent and
he did
and damaged the property.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of things he should not have done, and this is something that everybody has to somehow understand, where you can give this person a chance and then another chance, but he doesn't change. And the man in his age, I believe he is like 45, 46 by now. A man in his age should know how to behave, how to carry himself in public, and it's just really bad. I mean, I believe that on the last the Shield show, when people started to question his behavior, especially what he did to his last girlfriend, not paying for the internet connection. I mean, that's not something that you do.
No,
It's just very low, and he doesn't really care for it. He just says, you know what, it's I'm out of here. I broke up with this bitch. I don't care anymore. There's no gratitude towards that woman, because look, guys, this is a woman who has left her disabled child for this guy who left Quezon City, flew all the way down to Minganilla, and joined him in his apartment. And the only thing he did is, just when she was not good enough anymore, he just got rid of her like an old pair of shoes. And that shows this is a person. Yeah, this is a person.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is a person who shouldn't be
Please.
in the Philippines, and that's
Yeah.
what we believe is the right thing to do. And that's, there's a reason why people start to do all these vlogs about him and inform the Bureau of Immigration, and they are calling and texting all these business establishments, because these are people who say this is not right. We see it happening here on social media right in front of us on our screens, and it's not right. Can I do something about it? Maybe I could get the word out there about this person. Maybe I can, put the link of all these vlogs out there about him on the Facebook pages of this hotel or hostel. Maybe I can talk to the landlord or a business owner and tell them, look, if you are dealing with this person, just be careful.
Yeah,
Be careful and look at the vlogs. That's all.
I was kind of very disappointed with the way he would talk about that young lady's child. And, to me, real men, if you get into a relationship with a woman, you accept her children into your life. That then becomes all part of it. So when I used to hear how he would talk about that, it was very disappointing to hear his attitude. Now, the thing that with him that I've noticed is the only person he has any sympathy for is himself.
Yeah, he's a very self-centered person, and it's kind of, when you get to know him a little bit better, when you see him on all these vlogs, you'll realize this is a person who just wants to take advantage of people, and he just doesn't want the journey to end, and somehow I understand that. As crazy as it might sound, he doesn't want to go back to the US because there's nothing there for him. And living in the Philippines is something like you get the attention of people. It's always warm. It's always, depending on where you are, people have a good mood. Even they are not rich. It's addictive. To some people, it is really addictive. And he is afraid of going back to the US. And I somehow understand that, because there is no job there, there's no family waiting for him there. It's not fun to be fucking homeless and surviving on $500 a month. So all he got now is his $500 or $457 a month, the donations and his YouTube channel. And that's how he survives. And he tries to get a girlfriend who somehow can support him. That's all he got. Of course, he will defend that till the last day, because that's all he got. And if you put yourself in his shoes, then yeah, you would somehow understand that. But on the other side, everybody needs to understand this comes at a very high price for everybody else. The girls he has left, some of them, I think Popeye here could tell us more about that. When we tried to talk to them, even only bringing up his name, Barry, really made them feel very. I mean, they get really agitated. Some of them.
Get repulsed.
They were, and it's not something that I wouldn't understand. I mean, this is a girl who probably makes like 10,000 pesos a month, works hard for it, and now she has a big debt to I think Globe Telecommunications for the internet. So of course she is mad, and when Barry says it should be her new boyfriend who pays for it, or I will take care of it once I got money, this is all lies. Real guys.
I've never heard him say that he'll take care of it, to be honest.
He said, he mumbled something at the end of that chill vlog. He said, I'll take care of it. Okay, guys, I need to go now. And 15 minutes later, he opens a news stream telling everybody, 10 minutes prior to that, telling everybody, I'm tired, I need to go. And it's just another lie, because he doesn't want to be questioned. He doesn't want to answer these questions. Will you pay for it? And I think somebody on the panel, I think maybe it was even you, Thunder. I think you said something like, I will pay for it if you show us. No, I think Lost the Nomad did.
No, I offered to pay the bill out if he showed everyone that he was up to date with his visa.
Yeah, exactly. And then he would come up with something like, I don't want to show that. That's none of your business. Ladies and gentlemen, it's, everybody here is smart enough to understand he is not paying his visa fees. He's not paying his visa fees. There was no visa run going to Singapore. That's just a fact. And it's just excuses when he says Alo should take down all his videos about me, and he has to show his face, and Popeye has to take all the videos down about me, and he has to apologize to me, and he has to pay me a ticket to Hawaii or something like that, and then I will show you my passport. And it's just all lies. It's just all lies. It is obvious that he is lying, because he's the type of person, if he had an up-to-date visa, or if he had paid for his visa fees, he would be the first guy on the, he would be so fucking proud of it. He would do one vlog after another, holding his passport into the cam and say, look, I'm up to date. I am the great guy. I am going to Singapore. I'm here in Singapore. I'm doing a visa run. I'm living a superb, cool life. That's what he would do. And none of it has happened. Why? Because he believes the stories that he was told by guys like, another vlogger who said, I didn't pay my visa fees. It's not a big deal. You just pay them when you exit the country. As long as you pay, everybody will be fine. Everybody will not bother you. Nobody will ask you questions. And he believes in that because it's an easy exit for him not to take care of his visa fees, because this is a guy who barely survives in the Philippines. That's why he is so desperate when it comes to his channel, and that's why he wants us to shut up, because he doesn't want. Yeah.
How is he getting away with this? Because I've seen where the government there is offering rewards for overstayers.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's an issue for them. How is he getting away with it? I mean,
yeah, this is the thing about the Philippines. The Philippines has a lot of laws, but it's not really something that they enforce. You have so many laws and regulations in this country, but it's not really enforced. They only do it when it profits them. Let's say you don't pay your taxes. Nobody really cares about that. But if after, let's say, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, you didn't pay your taxes, and somebody in the government, at the Bureau of Internal Revenue, takes interest in your property because you might have a nice house or whatever, then they will start to somehow use the law against you, because they see that there is money to be made, and then you need to settle it, else they will use the law against you. It's kind of like we apply the law when we profit from it, and if it's just peanuts involved, then we just look the other way. And obviously in his case, they are just not interested. They are just really
Alo, let me back you up a little bit there. You talked about being addicted, right?
Yeah.
And, when I first rotated in my first tour of duty to Philippines, there was guys rotating out, and they were thoroughly depressed, and I couldn't understand why. But, this is my first tour of Philippines. And then in 6 months of being in Philippines, I understood why. I had a girl to make my coffee. I had a guy to clean my car in the driveway. Jesus Christ, I could go drinking every fucking night of the week if I wanted to. There was so many bars. There was so much to do. Getting a pretty girl, even for the ugliest mugs like fucking Bama, was easy peasy. All right. And, but there was one big difference between us and him. We paid our way. We didn't skip out on any bills. We paid the yard boy. We paid out utang, in the bars. We actually took care of the women that lived with us, and gave them money, the family money. We actually, took money out of our pocket.
Yeah.
We weren't up on, even though we didn't have that much social media back then, we weren't up on social media or going around asking people to give us money so we could enjoy this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's quite addictive. I mean,
That's true. Yeah.
you really get pampered in the Philippines. Okay. If you do it right.
Yeah.
But it is user pay though. That's the problem he's having. He just doesn't have the cash outlay there to pay for the lifestyle that he wants, and that's what it's all about. He wants to live a certain lifestyle a certain way, but he just doesn't have the money to do it.
Yeah, it's often also, there's a certain factor involved in this, and I'm not saying that it's true for a lot of expats, but there's a certain factor here that is very, very powerful, and it's usually the main reason why countries such as the Philippines or Thailand or the Dominican Republic, there are other countries around the world who attract a certain type of foreigners, and that those are the foreigners who usually have a very low social status in their home country. Bama, for instance, he really has a very, or Peter Vandever, they have a very low social status in their home country. And when they come to the Philippines, they are not perceived as what they are in the US. Where they are homeless or out of a job or poor. In the Philippines or in Thailand, they are perceived as he is a white guy. He is the same type of people who have money. He's an American. He's a British national. He's an Australian. These people, that's the image that they have. They bring money. They have money to spend. Else they wouldn't be here. It's very simple, because if you are poor, you can't travel to another country. So it's kind of like something that where they get a lot of attention for it. And somebody who never got attention all their life, they get addicted to that. When you go down, and you go in a grocery store or in a bar, and then people will kind of smile at you, and you ask for, where can I find the spaghettis, and people will assist you and ask you, where are you from, and they crack a joke, and you chit chat everywhere. Then you feel like, hey, I get this superstar treatment here, and everything is so cheap, and I can go places, the weather is warm, and people are out late night, and drink a beer, and it's a laid back, very tolerant society that embraces all kinds of people. And once you get hooked with that, and you live it, it's very, very hard to say, hey, I want to go back to that cold place where I'm from, and cold, not in the sense of weather and all, but where people just don't recognize you. They don't even pay attention to you. And that's a feeling that a lot of these foreigners have. I mean, let's say you are a guy, and I don't want to go too much into details, but let's say you are a guy who suffers from some sort of a narcissistic personality disorder. The Philippines is the best place for you to go to, because there it will reinforce that fucking personality disorder, because everybody will somehow ask you questions. You are the center of attention, and you have more money than everybody else, and that can really get to your head, because then you might really start thinking, I am a big shot, I am successful, I am good looking, and I get all the girls. You do not want to realize, you do not want to hear to the people who tell you they are just doing that because they are after your money. It's not always the case, but the problem is that with the girls that Bama usually meets, they have an expectation. And I'm not saying that it is a bad or negative expectation, or they want to rip him off or something like that. I just don't want to conclude that. What I am saying is they want the real relationship with this guy, and they would take good care of him. But it takes them a while until they realize it's the other way around. This guy wants to profit from me in a financial way. He will not pay when I have a medical issue. He will not pay if I need some money to, bring my mom to the hospital or something like that. not the same way he does, because for him it's just a one-way street. When he has some issues, he needs a ticket or he needs something, he will ask the girl, can you please help me out? Because I love you. I thought this is a real relationship. And, some girls, they really believe that. They will really do everything they can, up to the point that they even leave their disabled kid, behind and say, hey, mom, dad, can you take care of my kid? I have a boyfriend. It's also important for me that Barry is okay. And he does not really appreciate that. And I just ask myself, how long will it take until everybody sees the truth? And there's also a reason why he doesn't really want to know, or doesn't want to give us the name of his girlfriend, because then, in that case, the girlfriend could actually just talk to his many ex-girlfriends, and she might have second thoughts about him.
I don't think it's something that's just with the Philippines. I think all women, when they get in a relationship, they expect a man to act like a man and to look after them. Whether that's
it's part of it. It's part of a relationship, that the man somehow takes care of certain things. And in his case, it's an extreme situation, because he actually doesn't want to do anything at all. I mean, we have seen him playing Xbox all day, going to the bar in the night, and he is still open to flirting with other girls. I made one time I tried to prank him and told him, look, Donna Johnson, she is a Filipino American. She lives in Arizona. Some of you guys might know her, Donna Johnson. She is a friend of mine. We used to talk every now and then. I had her on my show a couple of times. She is a successful businesswoman, and she is married to a Filipino American guy, good-looking guy, and they make a nice couple. And one time I was joking with Barry and said, hey, Donna Johnson just told me that she finds you cute. And he said, hey, Alo, I have a girlfriend. What are you talking about? Please leave me alone with that. 3 days later, Donna Johnson comes to me and says, hey, Alo, what did you tell Bama? Because he was texting me, he contacted me, and he told me that I mentioned that he was cute. Bama was starting to try to flirt with Donna Johnson. And I found it hilarious, because Donna Johnson is just not the type of woman who would even talk to a guy like Bama. So, he's trying hard to get as many girls as he can. But in his case, it's not only about having a good time with them, it's about using them to survive in the Philippines. And how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Imagine this. An American guy goes to the Philippines and exploits the poor women by making them work for him, support him financially and in other ways. And that's just not something to be very proud of, to be honest.
Yeah, and I wouldn't specify that it's American. I mean, just as a man, it's poor.
Yeah. But he gets away with that because it's the image. Because the image of being an American helps him. And maybe, Papa, you can tell me what you think about that. But my theory is, because Americans generally have a good image, and as well as Australians and of course other Western countries, they have a good image. He goes there and he profits from that good image. People say, hey, this is not somebody who cheats, who lies, who steals, who wants to profit from me, because this is an American guy. This is a rich guy. Yeah, and then they find out why is it that every time we go out and the bill comes for the food, he never pays? Why is it when we take the taxi or the bus to the city, he never pays? Why is it that when we pay for, when time arrives to pay for the water bill or electricity or the rent, he never pays? Yeah. Why is it that he wants to move in with me in my parents' house? Why is it that he never mentions what his plans are here in the Philippines? He never talks about his visa. He never talks about getting a job. He never talks about going back to the US. What did he do there? He never talks about that. Why is it that it's always me, the girl, who pays for everything? And then they find out this is a scammer. And it takes them a while after they financially cleaned out.
Allo, what I learned about the Filipino people, when I went there, they looked upon us as somebody who's going to do right. And, you know, the era that I knew were a lot of the old World War II era that were like, yeah, these guys are fucking heroes. They're nice. And that's carried on for a few generations, but it's wearing thin. And the reason why it's wearing thin is because you got guys like the Hobgoblin going there and doing what they're doing. And they're ruining the reputations of all expats, whatever country you're coming from, and they're pissing Filipinos off. Sooner or later, the welcome mat is going to get taken back in.
Well, it's not that he's just pissing Filipinos off. It seems that he's pissing people off all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny part is that he doesn't want to change any of it. He doesn't want to change any of it. It's just like those people who support me, they are welcome. As long as you give me money, you are welcome. And, you know, it's very obvious that he has asked for donations and money. Everybody has been asked for money. I mean, I was asked for money. I was asked for the charging the charging battery for an Xbox. He even asked me if I could send him the gamepad or my old Xbox or some games load. And I'm not even close to him. You know, there was a time Bama and I did a couple of shows where I invited him on my live stream. That was, I think, more than 2 years ago, and you know, it was fun. But every time you somehow reach out to him, and if he thinks you are his friend, sooner or later he will ask you for money. And if you give him money at the beginning, maybe like $5, $10, if you give him an amount of money, he will ask you again, because he knows I can get money from this and that person. And that's okay when you are in trouble. But the thing is, he made it a lifestyle. He made it somehow like a, you know, it's his supplemental income. And that's a very dangerous path that he has taken, because sooner or later he will run into a problem where he can't just solve it by going on live on YouTube and say, guys, send me money. I need help. I need to pay the bills for water or electricity. One day he will have something like, let's assume he is involved in some sort of a car accident, or he gets sick, and medical costs in the Philippines can rise very fast. And he is let's imagine he is in a hospital somewhere. He owes the hospital like 50, 60, 70,000 pesos. Usually not a big amount, $1,000, $2,000, whatever. He couldn't come up with something like that. He couldn't come up. He couldn't pay something like that. And
do you think he'd pull a Golden Heart?
No, I don't think he would fake any medical condition. But you know, he is a guy who sooner or later he will. You know, it's always when you do not expect it. You always think it's not going to happen. Everything is going to be all right. It's always going to be continue. It's always going to be fine. And then he gets involved in a fucking car accident, or he breaks his fucking leg, or he gets malaria, or high fever, whatever. You know, things happen. And what then? What then? Because this is not a guy who has a health insurance. This is not a guy who's saving money for a rainy day. This is a guy who just takes it very easy, day by day, and makes it look like as if it's a cool lifestyle or something like that. And you know, we have seen guys like him. We have seen many guys like him. And where are they now? They're all gone. They're all back in their home countries. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about that anymore. I mean, we have guys who party the night away, party all day, drink. Then they father kids. They don't make girls pregnant, and don't take responsibility for it, and then they just go back to their home countries, and then they usually would like live with their mom and dad. I mean, these are not the winners you want them to be, because
You
still
should
they
read
have.
what Nico just said.
Look what happened to me. I was just trying to enjoy the culture and the country, and I ended up in the hospital 3 times. You just never know. Yeah, that's really how it is. When you get food poisoning, you have an accident. But I think it's just the type of people they are. They don't think about stuff like that. That's the difference between them and us. They don't think about insurance. They don't think about saving money. They just want to have fun. They are like in a one big dream where they just say, I don't want it to end. And usually what happens is that fucking dream turns into a nightmare, and then they need the help of the embassy. And at the end, it's the taxpayers' money who will bail them out again. So everybody here who actually has a job or a business or works hard and pays his bills and pays the taxes, they are somehow financing people like them. Because let's not kid ourselves here. He is a fucking fraudster. I mean, if you can be on YouTube and social media and Facebook and do all these vlogs, then you do not really deserve having a disability pension. There is a famous case in Switzerland. That was a woman who has, I think there might even be English articles about it. This was a woman, a political activist. She gets 100% pension, a full pension, and she was always on fucking Facebook writing essays, and on Twitter and on other social media accounts. And the social security system, the administration found out about it, and then they cut her pension down to 50% of what it was before, because they said, look, if somebody is always on social media, it means that they can concentrate, they can write essays, they are present, they are sitting behind the computer, they're actually doing something. Why does a person like this need 100% pension? Why do they get full benefits if they actually can do at least something? A bad back or something like that doesn't prevent you from functioning as far as your social media presence is concerned. You can still like type in numbers or be like working at something like a Walmart. I don't know what kind of jobs there are, but there must be some programs in the US where people like him will be guided and supervised to put them back into the workforce. But there is just no interest on his side. Of course, he doesn't want to do that, because who wants to go back to the US and work for his or her money when you can party all day and ask people to send you money through the internet? You would rather prefer doing the later than the first thing that I just mentioned. And I somehow understand that. I mean, let's be honest here. Of course, it's more fun to just party your life away than working for your money. And the sense of entitlement with many of these guys is just astonishing, because we got a couple of these disability fraudsters in the community where they say, I have earned this, I paid into the system, I am entitled to this. And it's just they are taking advantage of the loopholes in the system. And it's not that they are really entitled to it, because those people who are really disabled, they are rarely on social media. They are fighting their disabilities. They are in integration and therapy programs. They are just trying to make a difference, to improve their lives. And they don't bitch around on the internet. They don't have sex with girls on cam. They don't threaten people, pounding on the table, yelling, and starting to talk about how they would kick somebody's ass, because somebody like that can work. because when you can do all these things, you travel around in a country like the Philippines, you walk around, you go out, you go to the bars. There's really no reason not to work.
Can you send me $1,600, Alan?
For
Just send it, man. Just send it.
just end it. Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you, buddy. If you could send it in euros, it would be greatly appreciated.
Speaking of $1,600, that's the amount that I just lost 2 days ago. Because I went to my farmhouse, and we were sleeping. 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody entered our house and stole the bag of my wife. And the bag of my wife was like 2 meters away from our bed, and somebody climbed into the house and took around 90,000 pesos. That's around I think that's around $1,600 out of the bag of my wife. Took her bracelet. It's absolutely crazy. I'm still a little bit traumatized about that, because imagine that somebody comes into your house, the lights are on, you are sleeping, they come to your house, they get your money, and the bag is just on the floor in the other bedroom. It's just like 3 meters away, and they would just leave the house, or he would not leave the house, because I believe it's just one person. They would just take all the things out, put it on the floor, and then decide what they want to take, and they just took the money and the bracelet, and that's just fucking crazy. That's just fucking crazy. Just reminded me, because he said it's 1,600, and that's around 90,000 pesos, and that's exactly the amount that we lost, because we went to the bank during the day, and they must have observed us. I do not know. They knew that I was there, and climbed into the house through the window. We saw footsteps on the balcony, because the balcony has like a marble floor, and it was a little bit dusty, and then you could see the footsteps on that balcony where he climbed into the house. It's fucking unbelievable. And we woke up like 4 o'clock. My wife woke up because she heard something, and she wakes me up and says, "Hey, the bag. Where's the bag? Where's my bag?" I said, "Yeah, maybe you misplaced it. Why are you asking me about the bag?" And she gets up, I get up, and then I go down, and I see that the door is open. And I was wondering, did I close it or not? Maybe it was the wind. First you never think about something like that. Then she yells and says, "Hey, come up! The bag is here." And then I say, "Okay, yeah, you found it, but it's not the way how I expected. It was all over the place, money gone." And then I knew somebody has entered the house, and it's very creepy. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, everything is quiet, nobody around. The house is open, money is gone.
May I make a suggestion for you, Alan?
Yeah, please.
What I want you to do is I want you to make a Subic run, okay?
What would that be?
And make a Subic run, go down to Subic, get your ass onto the Nav Mag and get one of those rhesus monkeys. Okay? You chain it up on the balcony. All right? And I guarantee you, if anybody climbs over that fucking balcony, that rhesus monkey will take care of it.
I was just thinking, Barry's after looking for money. You probably could have employed him and chained him up. And
it's a no shitter. I this guy, he lived across when I lived up in Mabayuhan. I was on Otera Drive, and this guy who lived across from me, he was going on 30 days leave, and he was taking his wife with him. And he said, "Can you watch Mary Jane for me?" And I said, "Sure, bro." So he brought Mary Jane over, and she was full-grown rhesus monkey. He had her on a chain. She was very polite, and so we chained her to the front balcony because I lived on the second floor. And I used to give her rice and banana, and she was quite happy. She would never get nasty with me. And sometimes I'd give her a cigarette. She'd smoke a cigarette. And I'm telling you honestly, one night, guy climbed up on the balcony, and fucking Mary Jane just ripped him a new asshole. There was blood all over the fucking balcony. I shit you not. This is a true story. I'm not embellishing either.
Well, Barry can't bite anyone, but he could make noise.
Yeah, I mean he is toothless, man.
Yeah, but I think he wouldn't be able to climb up that balcony, because he needs to be strong to climb up that balcony, and it's just way too big.
You could put a table out there for Barry. He can pound on it.
Jesus.
Yeah, but security in the Philippines is something you need to take care of, because maybe
that's a worry. That's a worry if you've got a family, Aloe, for that sort of shit to happen, and it's scary to think that they were that close to you while you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's the scary part, because I think that what if you would wake up? Yeah. What would they do if you wake up? Because somebody who comes into the house, because the house is in the middle of a compound. There's a big fence around it, so somebody has to enter through the fence, and he saw that there's light in the whole house. And I have a caretaker who has a small house behind it, which is also on the compound. So I usually would stay in the first floor of the house. All the lower floor has these grills. We call that grills. The metal bars in front of the window, and you cannot enter. And when I went down, I saw that the kitchen window was actually open. So he tried to somehow get into there, but because there's metal in front of it, he was not able to enter. And then we started to think, how was he able to get in? Why is the door open? Because the door was closed. And then we found out he actually climbed in through the first. He went on top of the balcony, and then from the balcony he entered the bedroom, because I have 2 bedrooms in that house. And then from that bedroom he sneaked into my bedroom, and where my family is, and he would take the purse, which was on top of the second bed, like literally like 2 meters away from me. He would take it, go back to the other bedroom, open the purse, get out the money. He was looking at all the credit cards. He didn't take any. He was looking at the IDs. He didn't take any. He just took the money. And then he would go down, open the door, and just leave the compound. And this happened. This must have happened within very few minutes, because my wife was still up around 3:30, went to bed, thought she saw or heard something, checked, said, okay, maybe this is just a cat on the roof, whatever, went back to sleep, woke up again, and the fucking purse is gone, And I actually went down, and then was going to the gate, looking around, didn't see anyone. It's kind of strange, It's kind of strange, but I'm just glad that nothing happened,
I was told that when I went to Philippines, and you can tell me if this is true or not, Aloe, that most crimes that happen in Philippines are crimes of opportunity.
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree with that?
Absolutely. Because I believe somebody, because the compound is like they open the gate, I drive through with my car, and then they close the gate. And I have a guy who was on the compound. He sleeps at the back in his own small house, because that's kind of like where the staff is. And of course that fucker was asleep, just as myself. I don't blame him, because I was asleep as well. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. And at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're just sleeping. And based on the footprints of the balcony, he must have been looking into our room and saw that we were sleeping and nothing was happening. So he thought, okay, I can get into this house because the couple here is sleeping and nothing is going to happen. And he saw the purse and all the luggage that we carried into the house. So he knew there is something to get. There's something he could steal.
So I don't think that's when you say opportunity, I think someone's watched you for a while, Aloe.
Yeah, I just went there like 2 or 3 days. You know, I just arrived, put my things in. I usually do my business transactions there, and then we left again. And I think it was only the second or third night. So yeah, they must have observed us, and they knew that when I'm there, there's maybe money involved, you know, because it's like this time of the year where I usually buy fertilizer and stuff like that, and then sign papers, and there's a lot of cash going in and out. And they knew, okay, he is there. Maybe he's carrying money on him.
Did you talk to the caretaker?
Yeah, we did. And he couldn't really believe it. He also climbed up there. He saw it. It's somebody we know for a very long time. The funny thing is that a woman, just when we arrived, who was cleaning the house, and she's very reliable, trustworthy, she told us, be careful because something is going on here in the neighborhood, because a couple of neighbors were, they told us that some things were stolen, like car batteries, cell phones, and it has increased over the last few weeks and months. And we should just be careful. And it's exactly that day that it happened. You know, that just like the other night. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Is this the first time anything like that's happened to you?
Like this, yes. But I have another house in Manila where when I bought it, and nobody was there. What they did is they climbed into the, usually you have a hole in the wall where you have the air con, and the former owner removed everything, and then there was this hole in the wall where somebody climbed in and stole a couple of my boxes when I just transferred my stuff into that house. So what we actually did is, because I didn't really want that, I just also closed it, because I usually use split type air cons. It's not this old-fashioned air cons where you have a hole in the wall, but just the normal air cons. We call it split type air cons. And then what I did is I just heightened the wall, and there's bulb wire around it, because in Manila, because that house is in Manila, and those houses are better secured, because I have CCTV cam, bulb wire, and grills on the windows. But it seems that people really know when to rob or break into a house. Just what Popeye said, opportunity makes thieves. When they see that there's a chance to get into a house, they do it. And they are not only after gadgets such as items like TV or something like that. They would also steal stuff like the cable, or in the house. The copper cable, or any plugs, or everything they can turn into money. One time they even stole my fucking wash machine, and not the wash machine itself.
Holy shit!
Not the wash machine itself. They just took out the engine of the fucking wash machine. And it's
funny, but it's not funny.
Crazy.
Dude.
Yeah, doing that was years ago, and I really didn't really mind it, because it's the loss itself was not really big, because I was not really living there yet. But this other thing that just happened Thursday morning, I believe it was like 3 or 4. It's kind of, how shall I say? It leaves you with a very weird feeling, because that somebody was that close. I would not say vulnerable, but it's just like, still, what I did is I just felt like I had enough. I just fucking had enough. I told my wife, look, I start to dislike coming to this fucking place here, because there's always problems, and now this happened. I just want to pack up. Let's do our transactions here, sign the shit that we need to sign to, and I want to go back home, and then because I just need to digest this shit first. It's not so much the money itself, but what really bothers me is that my wife lost a bracelet, and that meant a lot to her. And it's something, you
it
can't
had sentimental value, right?
There's a huge sentimental value. And you wake up in the morning just like me now, and then it comes back, and it's just how somehow pisses you off, because you say you could enjoy the weekend, have a good time, and stuff like that, and then it reminds you that, hey, we just got
it ruins your good. It ruins your good time, and I gotta ask you. Ask you, did you feel a little violated, like fucking Bama does, getting thrown out of all those hotels?
No. Come on, Papa. There's no Bama doesn't have anything to steal in the first place. So, I think we got Andy on the panel. He's getting restless here. He likes to have his say too. So, hello, meet my mate Andy, who he lives here in Adelaide as well.
The guy with the Eureka flag.
That's the one.
Yeah. The first time I saw that flag was when I was in Melbourne. And I went to this place called Ballarat.
Yep.
This gold mine city, and they have this historic place there, and then they would talk about that conflict.
The Eureka Stockade.
Exactly. A very interesting place, very beautiful place, very interesting place.
Are you there, Andy?
Yeah, I think.
I think Andy's kind of shocked because usually he's a great talker, and he probably feels a little bit put out because you're outdoing him at the moment, Hello.
No, I'm not put out. I'm just fucking one of them that cunts had time to fucking breathe.
Well, Andy, meet Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey, yeah.
Hell, man, look. I mean, yeah, I hear you, man, but I don't care. I don't personally care. I know fuck all about any of this.
No. Well,
have you ever been in the Philippines?
Nah.
Are you planning to go to?
Nah.
Why?
Well, I'm not interested in going there.
Okay.
Andy, actually, if you learn a little bit more about it, it would probably be a place that you would like to go. Andy's had a bad experience, Hello. He did go on a cruise ship once, and it was a Russian cruise ship. And 2 weeks,
Jesus,
two weeks after he got off of it, it sunk. So he's probably a bit wary.
I think Aloe should invite Andy to his villa, and he can show him the Philippine way of life.
Well, Andy. I mean, I know he doesn't know a lot about it, but if he learns a little bit more about it, it would be a great place for Andy to go. One, because when you get him going, he is really is a social sort of person. And, it's funny, they call Thailand the land of smiles. And after being in both communities and seeing lots of vlogs, I think Philippines really is more the land of smiles than Thailand is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The people there seem to be a lot friendlier, a lot warmer than they are in Thailand.
I have to agree with you, Thunder. I could take you to a bar in Subic called Barrelins, and they got a game they play. It's called Smiles.
Okay, I'm worried. I don't know if I want to hear the rest of this, Popeye.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought through. But Thunder, let me ask you: Have you ever been to the Philippines yet? Or because I remember I asked you this question a couple of years ago one time, and you said you have never been there yet. Are you?
Would have been probably about a year ago, I guess, Aloe, that you maybe asked that. No, I haven't. And I've actually just got into a relationship with a girl in California who's in the chat there at the moment. But I would love to take her there. There's a few people there I'd like to catch up with, Ed being one of them. And it kind of amazed me when you got someone calls their channel The Real Philippines, Real Life in the Philippines, when really, as far as I can see, there's very few people that are living the real life there. Ed would be one of them. But so
when you say real life, you are talking about living like the locals.
Well, living there and being immersed in the culture.
Yeah.
Which Ed seems to be doing. I don't think the person that we're talking about, and Andy doesn't know much about Barry. Barry is not really immersing himself in the culture. He's just taking advantage of it, from what I see.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
it should be changed to real poverty in the Philippines.
Well, he's living for the moment, and I heard when Alo was saying, there's no saving money for future or if anything happens, and that's dead right. He is just living for the moment, but then he only has the money to live for the moment. But Andy, I think you should plan to go to somewhere like the Philippines, because it would be right down your alley. You would.
I know.
I'd
I'd love to teach him how to play the game of smiles.
You better explain to Smiles, because I'm a bit worried, Papa, because the last time you told me a story, you had a girl sit on your lap and left the remains of the Seventh Fleet on your lap.
Yeah, well, it's pretty warm to that story. I'll tell you, it's a very simple game. Everybody grabs a big, tall red horse. Okay,
Which is a beer, Andy.
They sit at a round table that has a very long tablecloth that hangs over it, and you drop trowel. Girl crawls under the table, and the first one to smile loses. Has to buy the next round of beers.
Well, Andy, you'd be buying a lot of beers, I think, Andy.
Let me see you hold a straight face, Andy.
Yeah, I think Andy'd actually be quite happy to buy the beers too.
No, you'd be right there.
And that's how you play Smiles. That game has been played since 1967.
Well, guys, I'll watch a few different guys, but not as many as you. What would be a good channel for Andy to watch to actually see what the Philippines has to offer?
Property Club.
Oh yeah, I've watched that guy. He's a good guy, actually.
Yep.
That's Peter, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Peter. Yeah.
He's Australian too, Andy.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's called the Property Club. He's a guy he's an Australian who deals with real estate and lives in the Philippines. Spent some time in Thailand too, I believe.
Yeah, he has a house. I mean, a condominium in Pattaya.
Yeah, but there is some channels that you should watch, and Barry's. I won't recommend Barry's because you're not going to see. Like I said, we've talked about that he doesn't have a lot of content, but there is some channels out there that you should watch. I think it would change your mind, and you'd probably want to visit after seeing some of those. It's a great lifestyle over there. It's always warm. I said the people seem to be very warm and friendly. I think you'd really appreciate it over there, and
you always have a smile on your face too, Andy.
Yeah, I used to have a smile on my face anyhow.
Except when you're talking to Lost.
Once upon a time, except when I'm talking to Lost. That's right. You used to call me smiling once upon a time.
I could really envision Andy with a very sweet, pretty little Filipina.
The difference there would be that Andy would appreciate it and look after the girl.
Yeah, that's why I say that. That's why I say you're right. Right, recommend Andy going to PI, man. Get himself a little honeycomb.
I mean, that's the last thing on my mind because I've got my girl and I couldn't be happier. But I would still like to take her there to experience the culture over there and to meet the people. I mean, I've been to America a couple of times. I've been to Japan, and one of the things that I really want to do is take her out and travel and show a place. I mean, I know, Alo, you've done a bit of traveling yourself, and you know how it really does open you up your eyes.
It does, yeah, it does. Actually, I'm leaving the Philippines in a couple of days, going to China, and you mentioned also Japan. I will also be in Japan in I think in September or so. This time I will go to Osaka, Kyoto area, because before I was like a couple of months ago. I don't really remember. I was in Tokyo, and I just felt like I want to come back and explore a little bit more. And somebody told me that Osaka, Kyoto is a very interesting
That's right.
place. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten to see what do they call it? Jesus, now it just like flew out of my mouth, man.
Geishas,
Nagasaki, or
Hiroshima.
or Hiroshima, or been into Tokyo.
I have been to Tokyo. I have not been to the other places because these are very famous historic places
Right.
because of the the atomic bombs.
Yeah, I mean,
Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
I thought you would feel very comfortable there with all the radiation, you know.
It's a fascinating country, I must tell you, because when you come to Japan, you can sense that people there are different. And what I mean by that is, it's very well organized. You know, it's when you are at the railway station, you know exactly where to stand, how to get into these trains, or when you line up somewhere, or in a public place where there are a lot of people.
They're very
Everything is
disciplined. They're
very
very
disciplined, very orderly, and I
Yeah.
believe that's their culture, and I think they have been trained to do that
Does
from
that
from a
scare
very
you? Does that scare you a little bit, being half Filipino?
no, it's just what I can sense is that it's quite depressing when you live like that all the time. You know, when you can't break out. It's probably the reason why. You know, they have this problem in Japan. They call it hikikomori, which is somehow, and I don't know if I pronounced it right, but these are people who actually stay in their house or in their room for years. They don't leave their room. The parents would just feed them, and they would just stay in their room and would never leave it, because they totally withdraw from society because of the expectations the society
Well, we
has.
have some expats that do that in the Philippines.
Yeah, in some form, yes, but there it's
Yeah.
like a whole phenomenon.
Like
And I used
almost
to,
a culture.
it's the culture, and it's just
Mm.
like, I mean, don't. I mean, it's a fantastic, interesting place, and very
What do you
interesting.
think of Japanese women?
I think there are a lot of attractive Japanese women. I would say.
Would you bang one?
Oh, Jesus. He's a married man. He's a married man, Popeye.
I would probably bang a Japanese guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jesus Christ. Look, two things I find about Japan is it's probably one of the most the cities are probably some of the most modern in the world, and probably the cleanest I've ever seen.
Yeah, because they're very well disciplined. You know, when you when you don't do what everybody else does, you just stick out, and sticking out there means it's something that they perceive as negative. Even when you go into the fucking train station, they would tell you not to use your cell phone, not to speak on your cell phone in the trains itself. Now, I don't know. I've never been to the U.S., but in the movies, you usually see, like in a New York, in the New York subway, or somewhere in Europe, everybody would just text and call, and everybody would just speak on their cell phones. In Japan, you rarely see that. Everybody is quiet. It's everything is in order.
It's very hard to find anyone to speak English, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, and all the signs are in Japanese. The real information is all in Japanese. It's just the warning signs that are in English. It's basically like, okay, it's only the
There you
fucking
go,
foreigner.
dumbass.
It's funny they don't seem to cater for foreigners very well.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they
And it's the
believe
culture.
they believe they're the pure race.
Yeah. That's the how should I say, they called it gaijin, or I also don't know
Yeah,
if I
gaijin.
yeah.
Yeah, for foreigners, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
foreigners or outsider, and
Yeah, you definitely are a gaijin.
But
Okay.
unless you're going there like in a tourist group, you probably will struggle on your own. I know I did, because finding people to speak English it's very hard.
yeah.
Well, they got a thing over there. It's called Save the American.
Uh-huh.
What?
And yeah, it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. If you're lost in the subway system, within minutes, English-speaking Japanese will approach you and ask you, where do you have to go? Because that's how they are, number one, and they want order, number two. And number three, I got to ask Gallo, do you think they have sex in an orderly fashion like they do everything else in life?
No, because that's very strange. Because I believe that the people there are kind of very suppressed in their emotions and feelings and stuff like that, and that's why when you go to Japanese red light district, there's really weird stuff like schoolgirl sex and stuff like that, where they there are places where it's built like small buses, and then girls with in school uniform will come close to you and massage you and stuff like that. I have just only seen this in documentaries, but it's very, very weird, And in every adult entertainment site, there is a section, the Japanese section, which is different from all the other categories on these adult entertainment sites, and that's because they have a very unique. Even when it comes to that, they're different, and it's kind of hard to just.
So would you say in conclusion that there are some expats who recently left Philippines that actually should have went there instead of Philippines?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I was just curious. Just wanted to know.
I tell you what, if you going back to the person we were talking about before, you would not survive. You would not survive there. One, it's very expensive, and I mean, actually, because it surprised me at how expensive it is over there. And I tell you what, because of their culture, you do stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember I approached some people to ask for directions, and the head went down and they almost ran from me. Now, at first I thought, okay, maybe I'm a foot taller than them, the tattoos, I'm scaring them. But I actually got to talk to a young lad on a bus who told me, no, it's they're embarrassed because
they can't speak.
Yes, and they get embarrassed very easily, and they'll just take off.
It is losing face.
Yeah, it's a very different culture.
It is,
Japan,
yeah. It is.
Japan is not one of those places where it's easy to run around as a backpacker, unless you can speak the language, in which case you're laughing. But yeah, some people I just wouldn't suggest it's not going to be their cup of tea. But I loved it. To me, one of the things that I loved was the architecture of their old buildings, and to think that they did that with hand tools. I mean, I was amazed.
And the food is great. The food is very, very. It's exceptional. It's very good, and everywhere you eat, it's of a very high quality.
Yeah.
Do you like sushi, Allo?
Yeah, I do.
Really? I'm surprised.
Why is that?
Just didn't strike me as a sushi kind of guy.
I'm not, but I'll tell you what, I had the steaks, and I'll tell you now, get your wallet out, because a good steak will cost you a fortune over there. But the meat
serve prime Kobe beef, man.
But it is impressive as, I mean, 3 countries that I can say where I've really enjoyed the meat has been the US, when I ate a T-bone over there, and it was sensational. America has some great beef. Australia has great beef, and Japan, sensational, but you will pay for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Kobe beef, even fucking Hobgoblin could chew that shit. Okay? Straight up,
But one thing, Andy, I would love to see you start traveling, man.
I've seen this thing. I've seen this fucking thing on Facebook about. There's this machine that can fucking translate shit for you now.
There is programs. I don't know how accurate they are. I mean, maybe someone else will know about them. Is it the Rosetta Stone or something like that, or Rosetta something, which is a translation device? I've never used one, so I can't really.
They say they're pretty good. They say they're pretty good. I know what he's talking about there, and I've seen reviews on them on TechLogic and everything. They're pretty good. About 98% accurate.
And you talk into it, and then it translates, or you need to type into it.
You talk into it, and then you present it, and it'll come back and translate it in voice to Japanese or whatever language you programmed it for.
Yeah, I've heard that they're getting really good, but I've never used one, so it's hard for me to comment. But Andy, you're a single guy.
The same problem as you. I've got a doggo.
Yeah, the dog. But I tell you what, man, when you get the chance, do it. And honestly, don't let some of the stuff that you hear put you off. The Philippines, Southeast Asia in general. I mean,
what Duarte's there. I'm not sure I can fucking do that.
Duterte.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Look, mate, just have a barbecue this weekend. Cook and eat the fucking dog and get your ass over to the Philippines, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
No. Can we not? Let's refrain from eating dogs, please.
Oh, in Philippines they call it pulutan.
From what I believe, though, and talking to people, it is getting rarer and rarer over there. So thankfully,
Yeah. And when you're talking about Kobe beef, let me tell you a little secret. 1989, I was in Yokosuka, Japan, and we went out to a very expensive restaurant, and I had Kobe beef, and that plate cost me in American dollars $75. Okay.
Yeah, it is expensive, but I tell you what,
It was worth
Allo's
every
right.
bite.
Yeah, Allo's right. The food quality over there is second to none. Service is good. Like I said, the only issue I had was the language.
India for some reason.
Oh, I don't know about India myself, but I mean, there's lots of places I would like to go. They're on my bucket list.
Cuba. I want to go to Cuba. That way, once I fucking head to America, they'll just go, "You've been to Cuba. We won't let you in."
I don't think it's that bad anymore, Andy. But
some cigars.
You could start planning it all now, and these guys will tell you the people are warm and friendly over there.
No, I'm not saying they're not. Hell, people are friendly everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, and there's lots of reasons why you could go there. For me, now it's just to go to any country, especially with Crystal Taker and visit. I'd like to go through all Southeast Asia. Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam, maybe some of these other countries, because you're talking about an hour's flight to some of these countries. It's not like you're sitting in a plane for hours and hours. They're all so close to each other.
And seriously, I'll tell you before, first place I'm going is probably Peru.
I would love to go there too. I want to go to Machu Picchu, and
I want to go. I want to go and have some
China
myself.
Hearing Allo's going to China, I'm very envious, because I mean, the Great Wall would be on my bucket list, and to see
Allo, I gotta ask you. You've already been to China, right?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of times. Nonchalant. Okay. So would you bang a China doll?
Oh, Jesus, Popeye.
I have to tell you this. When I was in Australia, I noticed that a lot of the most attractive girls are the Chinese Australians. And I'm talking about the Chinese who have been in Australia for several generations. I mean, the inner cities of Melbourne and Sydney are full of them. They're very well dressed. They are probably working for a bank or some financial institution, and very attractive women, I must say.
I would say,
were they half Chinese? Half?
No. They mostly are full-blooded Chinese.
Full-blooded Chinese.
Yeah, but you have a lot of very attractive Filipino Australians who are half Australian, half Filipina. The current Miss Universe is Filipina Australian, Catriona Gray.
Yeah.
She was born and raised, I believe, in Australia, and then moved to the Philippines. So
would you take a run at her, Allo?
Oh, Jesus.
She's a very attractive woman, but not really. I like Pia Wurtzbach a lot more. Pia Wurtzbach is the other Miss Universe. She is Filipina German, and her former boyfriend is Marlon Stockinger. And Marlon Stockinger is a Filipino-Swiss race driver.
Oh, okay.
But they broke up a couple of months ago, I believe.
So I don't know
I
how-
just want people to get a flavor for your likes and dislikes, Shallow.
yeah, I don't know how it is in America, but we get a lot of Asian immigrants here, and what you find is they take every advantage that they can of this country when it comes to, say, like education. They work harder than even natural Australians do. They appreciate it more, and they will take advantage of every chance they can get over here. So you find that they do very well here.
Yeah, that's true. That I have seen that. I think that in the U.S., I believe they have a very high proportion of Asian American students at the
They want to kick them
level.
out of the. They want to kick them out of the unis because they do too good. Okay?
Yeah. I think in the U.S. in the U.S. there is this saying, and Popeye, maybe you can tell us more about that. But I have heard it. It's like it's not the slang, but people would say, "Don't be so. Are you Asian at it?" Or "Don't be an Asian when you are." Or it's kind of like saying when you are really fucking good at something. Because usually it's the Asian students. They have this affirmative action there where they really. But with the Asian students, it's the other way around. They have to trim it down, else the whole fucking Yale campus.
In the U.S., if you get in the U.S., if you're in uni or college, whatever you want to call it, and you get an A, the first thing some fucking racist prick like Bama will say to you is, Jesus Christ, are you Asian or something?
Yeah, something like that. Because I read that somewhere in a magazine, and then it's basically what it means is that when you are Asian at something, it means that you have perfectionized it. You have taken it to a next level where you are really good at it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of crazy when you look at it. But yeah, lots of attractive women in Australia, no doubt.
I can tell you what, mate. You got some pretty attractive women in California too, mate.
Oh yeah, that's because it's a melting pot with all kinds of from all kinds of backgrounds, and definitely a very interesting place. San Francisco Bay Area has a very high concentration or a very high number of Filipino American immigrants. I think there's a city there, Dalai City, just outside of San Francisco, where it's just kind of like 1/3 of the population is from the Philippines. And I believe
we used to call Long Beach, California.
No.
We used to call it Little Olongapo.
But that's true.
Shit, man.
No,
I shit you not.
It's true. That there are places in the U.S. Where you have a very high concentration of Filipino Americans, and Hawaii, for instance, is such a place. You have Guam, where a lot of Filipino Americans live. San Francisco, California, also Nevada, especially in Las Vegas.
But I'm not surprised because there is that tie between the US and the Philippines. I mean,
absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of immigrants.
There's a very close tie there.
I usually read all when they come out with these reports on immigration. I usually read them also with the Canadian government or Australia, and it always states who are the top sending countries. And I believe in Australia there are around 220,000 Filipino Australians, and in the US it's around 4 million. And in Canada, it's really big, where the Philippines is the top source of immigrants, and it's amazing. It's just like at the end of this decade, there will be around 1 million Filipino Canadians. That's an amazing number. That's very big.
I have to say, Aussie women are nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? You guys got some pretty good looking Aussie women too.
I'm not going to deny that, but I wouldn't swap my girl for all the tea in China.
I hear you have to say that. Your flag is planted. I fully comprehend.
You just noticed, the typical Australian girl, if there is such a thing, is usually a very she's blonde, white, surfer type of girl. That's what I have seen. It's like very down to earth.
What do you think of that type? What do you think of that kind of woman, Aloe?
I could very well imagine that a lot of people are attracted to that kind of woman. It's this charm of the girl next door type, I would say.
I think it's got to do with the weather here. So girls are, girls and guys, it's very outdoorsy here because the weather allows for that.
Yeah, and they love sports. They go surfing. They go on the beach. They're very active. Australians in general, I have seen and experienced that they love sports. They're good at tennis and swimming and rugby and all that stuff. They love to go out and do things, and that's just a little bit the lifestyle there. It's probably comparable to what people live, or the kind of lifestyle you would find in the Midwest in the United States, I think.
So I would have probably put them, the Midwest for the country type, but I would have thought more like the Californian lifestyle, with the weather being like it is there, in the beaches.
You think so?
Well, when you look at every major capital city here in Australia, we're all on the coast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't. How should I say? When it comes to the lifestyle, you are right. But I always felt like it also has something to do with the political attitude, and I think that Australians in general are rather conservative. In general, that's my impression. And people from California are. That there's a reason why people or Republicans or people like Popeye here, who is rather conservative. I would not use the word despise, but they look at California as this left-leaning bastion.
Well, there's a bigger gap between, say, the Republicans and Liberals, or Democrats in America. There's a bigger gap, say, than there is in Australia.
That's true.
The gap isn't so large over here.
Well,
yeah, that's because I believe the general population is rather conservative.
Aloe, I got to tell you about a new investment that I have just purchased. I purchased land along the Nevada and California border.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when the San Andreas Fault kicks off and California slides into the ocean, I have seafront property, baby.
You're overdue for something. You're overdue for an earthquake.
You might be able to get Andy to invest in that, but you're a prick, Popeye.
But I see a comment here, Lefty, all around. He said there's a city in Canada, 600,000 people, and it has like 60,000 Filipinos, and that's true. There are a couple of cities that really have that kind of population. I think Winnipeg in Manitoba, in the province of Manitoba, Winnipeg has a lot of Filipino immigrants, and I believe also places like Calgary and Vancouver. I have visited Calgary twice. I have been in Vancouver once, I believe, and I have seen that. I have visited people there, Filipino Canadians, and it's quite remarkable, And in Canada as a whole, it always reminds me of Australia too. Canada and Australia are kind of like twins, but one is a cold country, the other one is a warm country, the other one is Australia rather conservative, and I believe Canada rather liberal. And it reflects also in its immigration policies, and also in the leadership that they have. You guys have Scott Morrison as your prime minister, and in Canada it's Justin Trudeau. So it reflects in its political leadership. So, but I like both countries. Yeah.
So, are you happy that the trash is leaving Philippines and going back?
Yeah,
I think. Canada?
Yeah, I am, and I tell you, I think it has to do with the Duterte administration that they.
Can you sing a verse of "O Canada" for us?
Oh God, Popeye! I'm starting to think you're not MJ's father, are you?
No, this is just what me and Aloe do.
Now I can see where MJ gets his shit stirring from.
It's just what me and Allo do. We crack on each other. We have a good time, you know. And
Well, I mean, you're both very similar. You both definitely would never call either of you thin-skinned, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you can't be thin-skinned when you are on here on YouTube, you know, because if you are, then YouTube is probably not the right place for you. And most of the time, this is the type of conversation we have. It's very laid back, and everybody has a good time. But you know, people need to understand when we go on these other shows. Let's say the Pretty Pony, or we are on Popeye's channel or on my channel. Even though I have not done a live stream for a very long time, you know, the agenda is a different one.
Let's face it, Allo. You don't have to do a live stream. You make enough impact on the ones you do go on.
You know, it's just, you know, the role is a different one now here, because you know, I need to tell you this. I talked with Popeye about coming on the Thunder on your show for a couple of times now, and he told me next time when we are on, I'll send you the link. And now I saw that you guys were on, and I showed up, and I was glad he sent me the link, and I just wanted to come on. And one of the reasons why I want to come on is you know, for us, or for me, it's important that people understand that it's not all about drama. It's not all about you know, creating scandals. There's another side to it, and at the end of the day, most of us are just normal dudes who are coming on the internet, and often we just create a certain persona. It doesn't mean that we do not mean what we say. Everything that I have said and done, or a lot of it on these shows, when I call out Bama or other guys, I really mean that. But the thing is, the way how you deliver it is you have to deliver it in a way that people will pay attention to it. You know, when people, because you cannot just come on a show and say, you know, I find Bama is disrespectful to women, because people will not listen to you. But people will listen to you when you say, send this link to every fucking hostel, load your guns, go there, shoot the guy, right? And everybody would then say, oh, Allo made a death threat. Allo was threatening Bama. Bama would react, then we react, and then you got a show. And the audience will listen, will watch, will debate, will talk. And that's the goal. And that's why we do what we do, the way we do it.
You've never worked as a shock jock?
No.
Maybe you should look at that. I think you could put some of those American shock jocks to shame, mate.
If Allo was a lot older, I would say he was the original Howard Stern.
Oh my God, he's worse than Howard Stern, mate. He's got Howard Stern sewn up. Howard Stern would blush at Allo.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, I might have to cut this short because I've got a pretty little girl in California that I have to pay attention to as well. And it's been a good chat. Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks, Allo, Popeye, Andy, all you guys in the chat. It's always good to hear from you all.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on, Thunder.
Not a problem. But, yep, thanks, everybody. As I said, I have a certain young lady I have to pay some attention to.
All right, you go play footsie.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet you, Allo.
All right, no worries.
Thank you, Andy. To the guys in the chat, thanks.
And see you, Bob. And Thunder, yeah, probably tomorrow man, for lunch or tomorrow.
Well, it's still early, and if you're awake, you can always pop over and we can go for a drive and go check out some barbecues if you want, mate.
You know,
even have a lunch.
I can't even believe I've been awake for like fucking I don't know how many hours now. You know,
but it's up to you. Just let me know.
Probably should go to sleep, man.
All right, no worries.
You know, like I said, I'm fucking kind of I can't believe it. You know what I mean? I understand. Like, I haven't taken any substances to make me fucking stay awake or anything.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to, I could even come pick you up. But that's up to you.
Oh,
the choice is yours, mate.
Oh no, I should go to sleep, man.
Fair enough, mate. Well,
I'll definitely come tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I said, because I'll definitely be going to sleep tonight. Because realistically, I've been awake for I must be awake for 30 hours now, something silly like
that. Jedi, I have to admit, I'm a lucky guy, and I'm definitely not under the thumb. I enjoy paying her attention. So, but no worries, mate. You take care. Everyone take care in the chat. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Aloe and Popeye and Loss for coming on. And we'll talk to you all soon. See you guys.
that. See ya.